You talk about standing room only. Absolutely. We've got a packed house this morning. We're calling our BOC meeting to order this morning. Today is Tuesday, July the 23rd. Shortly after the 10 a.m. hour. We've already had our first millage rate of this morning, so we're transitioning into our Board of Commissioners meeting this morning. We'll start off with the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. And this morning, we're honored to have our own Executive Director Mims lead us in the pledge and the invocation. Executive Director Mims.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for our Board of Commissioners and their leadership. We thank you for all of the leadership in the county. We thank you for the great citizens. And we thank you for covering us and keeping us and allowing us to govern in a way that is pleasing to our citizens. Continue to lead us and guide us. We thank you for our protection. We thank you for the safety. We thank you for life, health, and strength. Thank you for this day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Executive Director Mims, for leading us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance. We've got a robust agenda this morning. We've been on recess for a little bit, and we've got a lot of business to handle. We're going to do all we can and everything that we can to stay focused and to stay on track this morning as we move throughout the agenda this morning. We have a host of special presentations and special recognitions. I think the biggest one, I think I would start this time with Talent Management and the Service Awards. Executive Director Holmes from Talent Management.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Chairman, Madam Commissioners. Look at all of these people here today to celebrate. It's that time of year where we are recognizing years of service with Rockdale County. We do come to the Board of Commissioners with anybody who has been with the county for 20 or more years. So today we're going to be recognizing 7 individuals with 20 or more years of service.
Wow.
Mr. Chairman, if I can, I think I want to play the video first,
Okay.
and then after that, we'll go ahead and start calling up individuals. So public relations, if you can go ahead and hit the video first. So we'll watch through that. You'll see some faces that are here.
Okay.
And then we'll go for it.
All right. Jason Wells. Tyler Hooks. David Peake. Dolores Thrash. Ginger Gray. Ginger.
Congratulations again to
Let's
all
give
of our
them all a round of
service award
applause.
recipients.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Chairman, I'm going to go ahead and start with our sheriff's office. We do see them here, so we want to make sure, and we do have Sheriff Levitt here. Yeah, Sheriff Levitt is here as well. So Sheriff, I'm going to bring you up if you want to come on up with me as we call all of the individuals that we're going to be recognizing this morning from your team. And we're going to start off, Captain Hooks. We'll start with him with the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office for 20 years. Facing. Well,
Oh, you want me to say something first?
Make some comments.
Okay.
And then take some pictures.
Really quick, as first of all, with all the number of years that I just reviewed on the screen, you don't see that in this day's society. And so it is truly amazing for individuals to serve a respected jurisdiction for the number of years that they did. So really quick with Captain Hooks, we thank you for your 20 years of service to this county, his dedication that he's shown for this county. And for those of you who do not know this, I'll tell you something a little bit unique about each one of them. But Hooks came to me some time ago, and I've had this several times from different individuals, and he asked me basically for his blessings to run for sheriff in Morgan County. And I gave him my blessings. One of the reasons is because the sheriff there was retiring. And often, if you know anything about sheriffs and chiefs, we don't tend to go against each other. And but I knew that sheriff was retiring, so he came to me and talked to me about that position. And I gave him some little words of wisdom that I've gained over the number of years. So to make the long story short, he ran in his primary and went into a runoff, and he won the runoff. And so to have grown him, I think I've given him 2 promotions or 3 promotions, or 4. For all 4 of his promotions, and for him to take this next step is just amazing. I'm actually leaving today to go to a conference with the Georgia Sheriff Association, and I know next year I will be seeing him at this conference.
Amen.
And so he has to go through the next election, general election, and it is no doubt that he is going to win that election because it is a Republican county and there's a Republican and Democrat running in, and the history has shown that the Republican wins that county. So we're excited for your next endeavor. And so he will be leaving us at the end of this year and starting his new position, and we're going to speak that in existence for
Amen.
January 1st.
Amen.
So congratulations on both.
All right.
All right, the next person I'm going to call up, Lieutenant Patterson, 20 years of service.
20 years of service, Lieutenant Patterson, y'all, let's tell you, she has served our jail for all of those years with the exception of, you've been at the courthouse now 2 years, with the exception of 2 of those years. She came to us and wanted a change in her career path, and so we granted her change. One of the things under my administration is I don't want any supervisor or anybody to feel stuck where they are. And just because they have kind of adapted to a particular division for the number of years doesn't mean that they can't take those skills in another division. Oftentimes people think if you come from a jail onto the law enforcement bureau side and vice versa, it's going to be hard to adapt because that's all they know. And so she's come over to the courthouse, and I understand that she has done an amazing job. But there's one thing that she has really done for our agency that we're extremely proud of. We sent her to a conference, and she came back and wanted to start this program. And this program actually, Chairman and Commissioners, benefits the county and overall. And it's a mentoring and wellness program that we was able to get a grant for. And so that program is still running strong, and basically it also provides mentoring for various employees. So we identify different mentors within the agency and assign a deputy to that mentor, and it helps develop those individuals. And it's through her leadership is why we're where we're at today in that program. So thank you for your dedication and your loyalty to this agency.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
And this county's commitment.
Okay. I'm going to do peek. Making sure I got it. Yes. Okay, so I was going to say Lieutenant, the sheriff just corrected me. He is a captain now. Mr. Captain David Peak, 20 years of service.
So really quick, Captain Pete just got promoted about a month ago? About a month ago. And as you can see, he's a man of very less words. He's very quiet and he's very serious. But he knows his work. He's been with us 20 years. He's dedicated most of his life to this agency in this county, and we appreciate his commitment to us because of his work. And he's actually one of our leading K-9 of this agency. And so now he's been promoted to captain, and he's in charge of our uniform patrol division. So if you get a citation, I'm telling you, I've already made this statement on multiple occasions. Do not call me about citations and tickets. You all got to understand. Kelly Check, he's sitting over here, is one of my main callers that call about speedings. And if he finds out that I'm fixing tickets, he's going to call me out on that. You guys would not realize the number of calls that I get on people speeding. So I'm telling you, if you want to get out of a ticket, I'm not sure if it's going to happen. This is the man to call. Thank you, Captain.
This is vacation levy. Oh.
And we do have one more for the sheriff's office. Once we do this one, I do want all of you to come back up. We'll do some pictures at that time. And this one is Major Jason Welch, 20 years with Rockdale County.
While she's doing that, Major Welch has grown. I think I gave him all of his promotions as well. He's a very intelligent. His parents actually live here in Rockdale County. He unfortunately lives in Walton County, and so he's been, he was a resident of Rockdale County at some point, and he has grown within this agency. Very intelligent. He is actually our chief major in charge of our jail division. When I first put him over in the jail prior to becoming a major, Sheriff, I don't want to be stuck in that jail. I really don't want that jail, but I'll go anywhere you want me to go. And I said, I need you in the jail. Because I believe in his leadership, because I trust his leadership, I wanted him to go over there and do some amazing things in the jail. And so, of course, I always tell people I hear things and I listen to things. So I heard him and also I listened. So afterwards, he moved out of the jail back over into the uniform patrol as commander over there. And as he got promoted to major, I said, guess what? You're going back to the jail. And so now he's our jail commander in charge over there. I made a joke with him. I think it was a joke. Last week we were somewhere and I said, I'm going to swap the two. And he liked to have a duck because he does not want to leave the jail. And so he's doing some amazing things in our jail. If there's any time that you all want to take a look at our jail, contact Major Welch. If you want to know anything about our jail and the work that we're doing in the jail, Major Welch is the person to call. He's also in charge of our SWAT division. He's a SWAT commander. And so he's moved around in various divisions within our agency. So thank you for your 20 years of dedication to this community and this agency and your loyalty that you've provided to this administration.
Congratulations, Major.
Yes, if I can have Captain Hooks, Lieutenant Patterson, Captain Peak, as well as Major Welch. If we can come up, we're going to do a photograph. Definitely want to give everybody another round of applause, but we'll get our photograph.
Let's give them all a round of applause. Absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you to our Rockdale County Sheriff's Office. All right, our next employee, and her picture is not up there right now, but it was super cute. She had that UGA Bulldog. We'll give them a second to transition. Okay. Also coming to us from Public Safety, Chairman, Madam Commissioners, Ms. Brandy Hunt. She is a supervisor in EMA under E911 Communications. She has been with Rockdale County for 20 years. So Ms. Brandy Hunt, if we can have you come on up.
All right, Brandy. Other than that shirt she's wearing too.
I'm gonna have our
Absolutely.
manager Maisha make some comments.
Good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
First of all, I want to say this is one of the biggest UGA fans that I know. It is Go Dogs all day with her.
That's hard.
But I watched Brandy grow so much within her career. The staple of dedication, leadership, supervision, team player is her. She was promoted to supervisor and was put on a shift where she had all rookies. Now it runs like a well-oiled machine. So I see why she is here for 20 years. Thank you, Brandy.
And real quick, I want to say, Executive Director Holmes, Brandy is one of the most recognized voices on the police radio. When the deputies and the fire service know that she's on the other side of the console, people really do feel safe because they know that she knows what she's doing. And that's important to first responders when you got a dispatcher and operator that really knows the job and is paying attention to every movement, every crack and crevice of a sound on that radio. Y'all give Brandy another round of applause. Yes.
Congratulations. All right, we have another 20-year employee. She's not here this morning, but Coroner Levitt is here to accept the award, the acknowledgement on her behalf. We want to acknowledge at this time Dolores Thrash. She's a deputy coroner. She's been with Rockdale County for 20 years, and I'm going to call up Coroner Levitt.
All right.
Well, I am very grateful to receive this reward on behalf of Dolores. When she started 20 years ago, I remember Rockdale County's coroner's office. It was just a couple of deputies, and we were only doing probably 30 calls a year. And she's helped to develop the coroner's office. We're doing almost over 300 calls a year now, and it's become one of the premier coroner's offices in the state of Georgia. And so I'm so glad to have her on board.
I think it's safe to clap to that, Mr. Coroner. Absolutely. Let's give Ms. Thrash another round of applause. You know, the coroner's job is not a job that just anybody can do, and the fact that Ms. Thrash has served as a deputy coroner for 25 years speaks volumes of the fact of her dedication and loyalty to that particular type of work. So, Ms. Thrash, if you're watching, listening, or if some of your friends tell you, we appreciate you. Give her another round of applause.
Chairman, Madam Commissioners, we are now at 25 years of service, so I'm super excited to recognize Miss Ginger Gray out of the Clerk of Courts for 25 years.
Outstanding.
Ginger, and I do see your team here. I see flowers, so I knew those were for you when I saw them come in the door. So Clerk of Court, Clerk of Court. I don't see Madam Clerk, but definitely.
She is not here, but on behalf of Madam Clerk Janice Morris and the.
Come on up to the mic. We're gonna make an announcement for Ginger 25 years.
25 years.
Talking to the mic there
yes.
so they can hear you.
On behalf of Madam Clerk Janice Morris, we just want to congratulate you for your 25 years of service for Rockdale County. It's been a pleasure working for you. Ginger has been a huge asset to our office for 25 years, and I guess if you ever need a speeding ticket fixed, you might want to call her.
Don't say that.
Congratulations.
It says an appreciation for 25 years of dedicated and faithful service to Rockdale County.
Thank you.
As well as your 25-year pin. So you get to wear that as well. Congratulations again. We can have the team go do a photo with Clerk of Court. Come here in the middle.
Director Holmes, I also want to acknowledge the presence of Ginger's lovely mother, and her daughter is here with her as well. Mom, stand up so they can see you. Stand up. Y'all give Mom a round of applause. Absolutely. Yes. And her daughter is taking the pictures. Wave your hand so they can see you. Give her a round of applause. Absolutely. Thank you, Ginger. Thank you for your 25 years of service. I wanted to acknowledge Mom and her daughter because no one gets anything done by themselves, and family is so much a critical part of the support factor of you going to work and coming in every day dealing with what we have to deal with. So again, thank you, Ginger. 25 years. Give her another round of applause. Absolutely.
Thank you, Chairman. That concludes our presentation for service awards. So recognizing 7 individuals for 20 or 25 years of service. So again, congratulations to all of our recipients. We are now going to transition to our achievement awards. And Mr. Chairman, this is where we have an opportunity to recognize those employees that have achieved degrees, they've achieved certifications, there's certain licensing that they have achieved. Shifting gears, during their employment here in Rockdale County. So super excited as always to be able to acknowledge the employees that are here today. And I do have a favorite song that I was told we couldn't play, so that's okay. It's okay. I was gonna sing it, but I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, wow.
You want me to sing? Okay, let me give it a shot. Da 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 da. Yes. So that's it.
I don't know why we couldn't play that. I don't understand why. When you said we couldn't play it, I thought it was
some lyrics,
some deep down dirty South stuff that was. I thought you was in the red clay area of Georgia or something, but that's just the graduation.
I know, pomp and circumstance. It has to do with license. It's pomp and circumstance, and it does have to do with licensing. So I did give you a tidbit of it. So you guys, let's get in the emotion.
Well,
but,
you won't be sued for singing it, I'll tell you that.
I had people join me. All right, so what we want to do right now, the very first person we're going to call up, and I'm excited, participated in our tuition reimbursement program, Miss Olandria Bing from Parks and Recreation. Mr.
Give it up for Olandria, y'all.
She has completed her Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration with a specialization in marketing from St. Leo University.
Wow.
So congratulations.
Wow, congratulations to Landria.
I'm sorry, and she is so correct. Is it up there? I know I read it somewhere.
Cum laude?
Cum laude, yes. That's a big deal, so cum laude.
Yes. All right, give her another round of applause. Absolutely. I don't blame her for correcting
Absolutely.
you. It took a lot of hard work to do with
maintain
what she. Absolutely, that's a major achievement. Give her another round of applause for Landry, y'all. You know, every time we think of Alandra, we automatically think of Costly Mill. It's just, she has really embraced Costly Mill and taken that park to a whole new level, along with her wonderful team out there. But what a major achievement. She's matriculated not only through her education, but here as an employee in Rockdale County has become a shining example that if you stick and stay, hard work and dedication will certainly pay off. Give it up for Alandra one more time. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, we're now going to call up Matthew Joyce from our water treatment plant.
Yes.
He achieved his Bachelor's of Science
Yes.
degree
Give it up
in
for
environmental
Matthew Joyce.
engineering.
Absolutely.
What was the adjective you used to describe your name when you first started in new employee orientation?
Matador
Matthew.
Wow.
So I remember that from when he first started. So congratulations, and here you are getting your degree. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Matthew. Yes. Matthew's just another example of so many employees throughout the ranks in the workforce of Rockdale County who's investing into their own career. And to know that he works for RWR, but yet he saw a personal commitment to invest in his career speaks volumes for who Matthew is as a person. Y'all give Matthew another round of applause.
you, Jason. This next individual is not here, but received a certification from Parks and Recreation. So here, I'm gonna have you come up because I was looking for Director Redmond, but if you can come up and tell us a little bit about this certification.
Deputy Director Wilson, all right.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Deputy Director, and Jody received a certification of completion for parenting a second time around. If you can just give us a brief definition of what that is, certification. Okay. Let me tell you, it actually is abbreviated as PASTA, and I will tell you that. So it has to do with parenting, working with children, and working with the youth in our Parks and Recreation Department. Okay. Congratulations.
Let's give that employee another round of applause. Well, listen, let me say this, Executive Director Holmes. First of all, you used 2 words. You talked about parenting.
Yes.
I think you said something about patience, but you definitely said kids or students. Anytime you talk about parenting and you're working in the Parks and Recreation arena, truly that's an extension of education.
Absolutely.
Although it's athletics, but it's discipline and it's teaching teamwork and teaching young people how to work together. And even with the whole parenting part of it, you have to have patience to be able to work in that rim. So give us the employee's name again.
It's Jody Ledesma.
Let's give Jody Ledesma another round of applause. Absolutely. What a certification. Absolutely.
This next individual received a certification from our water treatment plant, achieving the Water Operator Class 3 license. That's Mr. Michael Moses, and Michael is here today.
Michael Moses.
Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you, man.
How much studying did you do?
A lot.
A lot, okay. There's that. We're going to turn around and take a photograph.
Right.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Let's give Michael another round of applause. Water matters. Yes. Water definitely matters. Absolutely.
Chairman, another employee from Parks and Rec received Bachelor's of Science degree in Public Health from Georgia State University. That's Mr. Stephen Payne out of Parks and Rec.
Stephen Payne. All right, Stephen. Let him through, let him through, let him through.
Congratulations, Stephen.
All right.
So, Bachelor of Science degree, Public Health, Georgia State University, right out of Parks and Recreation. Congratulations to you. We'll do a quick photo. Thank you.
Y'all give Stephen another round of applause. Congratulations, sir.
So here, Deputy Director Wilson, I'm gonna call you up again only because we have another person from Parks and Recreation. You guys have been rocking and rolling over there in Rockdale
All right.
County. Miss Melissa Pugh, Senior Services.
Yes, Melissa Pugh. Yes. The one and only Melissa Pugh. Y'all give Melissa another round of applause. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Okay, you know what? We're going to scream that out. So Miss Melissa has a Bachelor of Business Administration degree. And I'm sorry, she just let me know. I'm going to let you say it so everybody can hear you.
Summa cum laude.
Oh, shut the front door. All right. Woo. That was worth a shout out right there. Absolutely. Yes.
Maintain a
I mean,
4.0.
you're talking about rocking and rolling. And let me say a little bit about Melissa real quick. She's another one of those names and faces as it relate to Parks and Recreation, Senior Services. Everybody knows Melissa Pugh. She is a go-to employee. Give it up for Miss Summa Cum Laude. Absolutely.
This next individual, also water treatment plant operator, got the Operator Class 3 license, and that is Mr. Brian Rancifer.
Brian Rancifer. Come on up, Brian.
same question I asked before. How much did you study?
A lot.
A lot. Huge accomplishment. Again, congratulations on your achievement. Water operator class 3 license.
Thank
So
you so
again,
Y'all give it up for Brian. Absolutely.
look.
Y'all give Miss Claudette a round of applause too. Absolutely.
Look, Chairman, if you guys didn't notice, I said Brian Rancifer.
Right,
Miss Claudette Rancifer.
Right.
So, congratulations. This next person we're going to come up, she's responsible for the training out of E911, and she right now works for the Emergency Management Agency. She's received a bachelor's degree in emergency management. That's Miss Octavia Stanford.
Octavia Stanford. Yes. Woo.
Thank you. Congratulations, Octavia.
Yes. So, Executive Director Holmes, Octavia, we call her the Chief Training Officer of E911 because everybody that comes into 911 for employment, they have to go through this very rigorous module in training, and Octavia is really serious about making sure we put the right people on the phone and on the radio behind that console and eating. Y'all give it up for Octavia Steph. Give it up for her. Absolutely. Can't just anybody be a 911 operator.
No, Mr. Chairman. Okay, we have one more person, and this one, super, super special. I know we've been talking about certification, and we've been talking about bachelor's degrees. This young person has received his high school diploma right from Rockdale County High School, and it is Mr. Dion Williams. He works in our Parks and Recreation
All right,
Department.
Mr. Williams. Yes.
So, finishing his senior year. What's next? College, okay. What's the? Gordon State. So
He's going to
playing
Gordon State.
basketball. Yep.
Y'all give it up for this young man again. Absolutely. Yes.
Congratulations. All right. So Chairman, Madam Commissioners, again, that concludes our achievement awards, our service awards. We love when we have an opportunity to get up and recognize our employees, the ones that have participated in our programs as we partner with them through this journey. So just wanted to say thank you to this administration. And again, congratulations to all of our award recipients today.
Our employees are the backbone to this community. Let's give them all another round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to make way for transition here for any of those that need to leave at this time before we go right into our next item of business. I'm going to allow for a transition for those that need to exit the room. Okay, all right, we'll keep it moving. We'll move now to a presentation by Mr. Kevin Hanna from the Rockdale Economic Development Council. Come on up, Mr. Hanna.
Good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
I have a great PowerPoint presentation I want to present to you, but before I get started, I do want to thank all of you for the wonderful support. July is my 3-year anniversary as president of the Rockdale Economic Development Council, and you all have been just super, super supportive. All 3 of you have been. Along with you, the staff has really been great. I mean, it's been, I called at 2 o'clock for something that I need at 3:30, and I get it at 3 o'clock. I mean, your staff is, like you say, the backbone of the success of Rockdale County. I'm going to try and go through this pretty quickly. It's actually kind of long. This is the presentation I made to the Conyers Rockdale Economic Development Council at our last board meeting. Commissioner Washington serves as chairperson. In fact, has served as chairperson for 2 out of the last 3 years that I've been here. What I'm going to talk about here has to do with 2 things. First, kind of a 3-year compilation of the kinds of results we've had under her and the board's leadership, and then I'll end it with a couple of new opportunities that literally just came across our desks over the past 10 days or so. So with that, next slide. I'm going to hit on 3 things. Demographics for the county, the strategic plan alignment, and new opportunities. By strategic plan alignment, I'm referring there to the strategic plan that the board has put together for CREDC for the next 3 to 5 years. As I said, new opportunities will represent a couple of new projects that came across our desk here in the last 10 days or so. Next slide, please. This slide, it's kind of hard to read, but these are 2 different measurements. On the left, is a measurement of population in Rockdale County. If you can't read it, the small blue bar is just above 94,000 people. The one in the middle is just below 95,000 people, and the one on the far right is just above 95,500 people. These numbers, by the way, come from an organization called ESRI, the Environmental Systems Research Institute. The second graph shows median household income for Rockdale County. These numbers come from the Census Bureau. In 2021, when I first got here, the median income was right at $64,000, just above $64,000. In 2022, that jumped up to above $68,000, almost $69,000. And the most recent numbers, as of 2023, that number is just below $72,000. So you can see the median household income in the county has gone from right at $64,000 to just below $72,000. And the importance of that cannot be understated. That's one of the things, one of the measurements that nicer restaurants, nicer hotels, nicer retail look at specifically. We're getting to the point where we're in the qualification round for those types of improved amenities. Next slide, please. One on the left, the bar chart on the left, indicates the number of jobs in Rockdale County. Again, far left is in 2021 was right at 37,000 jobs. There existed in 2022 just over 39,000 jobs, and in 2023 that number has jumped above 40,000 jobs. That graph needs to be compared closely to the one next to it, because the one next to it talks about the actual labor force. Here, labor force is defined as the number of people, able-bodied people, above 18 years old. It includes people who are not necessarily looking for a job. In 2021, that number was just below 44,500. 2022, that number jumped to above 45,000, and in 2023, it was just below 46,000. So if you compare years, you can see that there's been about a $6,000 gap, 6,000 person gap between the labor force and the number of jobs. That realistically is less than 2,500, because in those numbers, again, it's included people who are old enough to work but who are not actively looking for work, either because they don't want to or because they have a side gig or something like that. Next slide. This is probably my favorite slide. This slide ranks the top 10 counties in the 29 county Atlanta region in terms of gross domestic product, GDP. Rockdale's GDP increased at a faster rate than that of the state and of Metro Atlanta. Now, people look at this, and I've been told that it kind of represents the, quote, COVID bump that came about and the massive amount of money that the federal government kind of put into the economy. But that bump should apply to everybody. So I disregard that totally. In short, Rockdale's GDP jumped by 26.6% just over the past 3 years. This is from 2021 to 2023. That's, again, these numbers are compared to the 29 counties in the region. The 29 counties in the region, for the most part, those GDPs jumped faster than the other 120 counties in the rest of the state. So it is safe to say that Rockdale County is in the top 5% in terms of a jump in GDP, at least over the past 3 years or so, for the entire state. Next slide, please. Strategic plan. These three, and I'm going to try to get through the entire presentation quickly, so I'm not going to spend too much time on any one slide, but the three objectives that the board tasked me with are the three that are listed there. In short, to essentially identify additional funding for CRETSI to invest in and purchase the development land around the county. And you see the three methods by which that might be achieved. The second objective, it was to refine the business retention and expansion program, that is to grow what we have. You've heard me say before that studies have shown that the return on investment for growing existing companies is a lot higher than going out and spending a dollar going out to recruit a new company to come in. So that objective number 2 is very, very important. The third was to design and implement a proactive business development and industry recruiting means. We'll get to that in just a bit. Next slide. From an identification standpoint, well, even before we get to that, a slide that got, and it's my fault, that should have been included but was not. Remember, I talked about the idea of identifying sources for opportunities to purchase land for development, redevelopment. You all should be at the top of that list because you all voted to approve the purchase of the Corey property. That Corey property I'm going to predict, will be the singular most important bell star for Rockdale County once it's developed. And it was brought about by your taking a grand leap of faith on the county to buy it to the extent that, or with the idea of developing it as a destination point here in the not too distant future. So that's the first thing. Second, we identified several grants over the past couple of years. We were successful with the Hank Johnson grant that bought $300,000 to Rockdale for workforce purposes. In addition to these partnerships, we also partnered, this actually happened in the last week, we also partnered with Georgia Bio to apply for a National Science Foundation grant from DC to be used for the advancement of health equity. We're very optimistic about that particular grant application, but we'll let you know once we get more information. Next slide, please. In terms of establishing partnerships, and again, I'm not going to go through all of these, but these are just some of the partnerships we've established over the past couple of years in our efforts to attract developers. Those are all development companies to attract developers to Rockdale County. Most of those folks, not all, but most of those folks had never stepped foot in Rockdale before we got here. Next slide. The strategic plan alignment results. We've increased our marketing efforts, and again, I'm not going to go through each bullet point in a whole lot of detail, but take special note of that third bullet point that we initiated drone videos of certain properties around Rockdale County that we've used to market Rockdale at various trade shows, specifically to specific companies. That kind of technology and sophistication of marketing efforts, again, didn't exist before we got here. Next slide, please. Each of these, well, several of these companies listed, Liachem and Pactiv in particular, were on the verge of actually packing up and either leaving or packing up a division and taking it someplace else. Liachem and Pactiv, we met with them before they got out, cut deals with them, and they ended up expanding their presence here in Rockdale County. In addition, Pratt has made plans for a $79 million addition or expansion of its present facilities, and Yellowwood has completed its $20 million project. The image on the screen is that of Liachem. We're most proud of that because, again, those folks were about to leave, and not only did they stay, but they actually added, well, we preserved a certain amount of jobs, and they created another 25 jobs that stayed here in Rockdale County. Next slide. Priority 2, tell the Rockdale story. Do a better job of getting our name out there. Again, I'm not going to go through each bullet point individually, but next slide. The results are listed here. We've done, I think, and I'm biased, a phenomenal job of getting our names out, getting our name out to local, regional, state, national organizations, folks who are now much more attuned to Rockdale County, who know a whole lot more about Congress Rockdale County than they did 3 years ago. Next slide. Priority 3 has to do with building a strong workforce. I will tell you, when I got here, workforce, I never spent a whole lot of time thinking about, hearing about workforce. It was a blip on the radar of economic development. Now it is a blob on the radar of economic development. Workforce development is crucial to our continued competitiveness in the U.S. economy in general, but with other Georgia organizations in particular. Our objectives were listed here in this particular slide, and go to the next slide. The results, we've created a database for HR partners that didn't exist before. We continue outreach efforts to include HR roundtables, quarterly HR luncheons with HR professionals. As I mentioned, we received a $300,000 grant from the U.S. Department of Labor, and we've had initial discussions with the Sheriff's Department relative to creating, or expanding, I should say, a reentry program to further add folks to our workforce. Next slide. Priority 4, which was not listed in the original table of contents, but priority 4 was added. We decided that we wanted to develop at least 2 world-class live, work, play venues. And when I think about live, work, play venues, I think about Atlantic Station, I think about Avalon in North Fulton, and here is where that purchase of the quarry property will come in handy. That we expect to be one of the sites for such a venue. Our expectation, our hope is to also maybe have the horse park serve as a second site for a second world-class live, work, play venue. In order to kind of launch those kinds of things, you need information. We as in CRETSI and the Development Authority have already sprung for a couple of, next slide, I'm sorry, have already sprung for a couple of market studies for these multi-sports complexes that we're talking about. We've engaged a consultant specifically for the quarry property. They got started this week in putting together information for this that site to kind of help us determine what makes the most sense for that particular site. That's where we are when it comes to the strategic plan. Next slide. Again, I told you I'd try to be brief. For those of you in the back who may not be able to see that, that's a list of what I'm calling new opportunities, literally stuff that came across our desks over the past 2 weeks. And a big reason for that happening is all that other stuff we just talked about, the relationship we've developed with the state and with a certain number of consultants who work to help place these types of properties or projects in various communities. The first up there is Project Bingo, B-E-N as in Cincinnati. Project Bingo is a huge project, a wonderful opportunity for Conyers Rockdale. I am preempted from going into a whole lot of detail. As the chairman has often said, these kinds of things are typically protected by non-disclosure agreements. All of these are, but I am at liberty to tell you that Project Bingo represents over 300 new well-paying jobs. And by well-paying jobs, I'm saying the job scale starts at $90,000 and ends at $600,000. 400 million in real estate and equipment. This could be a game changer for Rockdale County if we're able to land it. The second is Project Pegasus. Project Pegasus fits into that last category of projects that I talked about, that of sports, entertainment, destination type sites. Again, I can't go into a whole lot of detail, but it will bring somewhere in the neighborhood of 175 jobs, 50 million in capital expenditures. The amenities will include, their package includes luxury retail, hotels, and housing. That's Project Pegasus. The last one is Project Bandon. Project Bandon is an advanced manufacturing company that is interested in leasing space over 200,000 square feet, to be specific, leasing space in Conyers Rockdale. This one we really caught a break on in that there is a building currently under construction which fits perfectly their criteria. And so we were able to submit that in response to the request for information that came our way. 100 to 125 new jobs. Average salary here would be $65,000, $18 million in equipment, $35 million in real estate investment. That's the proposal, or the that's what we've done. That's the presentation for the past 3 years. It gives kind of like I said, a shotgun view of what we've looked at in general and what we're looking to do in particular. Economic development is a team game. Nobody ever does anything, gets anything done by themselves. It takes political commitment, it takes staff commitments, it takes commitment from the community, it takes an economic development staff to kind of help drive everything. To God be the glory for all of this, but I thank all of you for your individual and collective support of the Conyers-Rockdale Economic Development Council.
Mr. Hannah, we want to say thank you to you and the work that you're doing. Also, thank you to Commissioner Washington for serving in the capacity as the chair of the Conyers-Rockdale Economic Development Council. A lot of things that are going on, a lot of things that are in the pipe here in Rockdale County. Y'all give Mr. Hannah a round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Next up is the amazing Miss Lisa Chester, and she is going to bring a robust update on Reimagine Rockdale strategic plan. Ms. Chester, good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Presentation, please. Okay, great. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioners, colleagues and citizens and friends of Rockdale County. So this morning I am delivering more than an update.
All right.
On Reimagine Rockdale. I am happy to present the presentation this morning to let you know that Reimagine Rockdale is complete.
All right. Let's give a round of applause for that. Absolutely.
Today's presentation is truly a testament to the collaborative effort and contributions of so many over the last year. You know, we started this together, I would really say last April is when I started meeting with the commissioners and then started meeting with the department directors and other key stakeholders in the community. So these contributions are really going to ensure a thriving future for Rockdale County. Okay. Next slide, please. Highlights of the presentation today are going to include the strategic planning process, Reimagine Rockdale, the strategic plan, our evaluation methods, and other plan components. Next slide, please. Okay. This presentation provides an overview of the county's next 5-year strategic plan and how it aims to address multifaceted challenges that we face today with proactive measures for the future of the community. So the Reimagine Rockdale strategic plan first maintains the legacy of Rockdale County. That was one of the things that I heard a lot from the citizens about really ensuring that Rockdale County remains true to its core. Addition to that, it adapts to the changing demographics and population growth projections that the county has. It also strengthens infrastructure and transportation, enhances our public health and public safety. It will spur economic development. It promotes equity, improves access, and fosters a culture of preparedness and innovation. The goal of Reimagine Rockdale is to continuously focus on planning. You'll see that a lot as you examine the plan. I continuously talk about planning, improvement, and also data-informed decision makings to ensure that we build a resilient and inclusive and sustainable community that thrives in the face of change. Next slide, please. So community engagement was absolutely critical to Reimagine Rockdale. This plan thrives as a roadmap to implement the strategic vision, goals, and priorities of the county. Thus, a strategic planning initiative, which was called Reimagine Rockdale Together, was launched. It was designed to make community engagement a priority. From a dedicated website, which still exists, it's reimaginerockdaletogether.com, and surveys to community education initiatives and strategy building sessions. You can see here, one of our citizens was participating in actually building the strategy together. Insights and various perspectives were received from residents, community members, employees, department leaders, a steering committee, and our elected officials, which also included Rockdale County and the city of Conyers. So thank you all for your contributions and feedback. Next slide, please. So this slide just really showcases a number of those initiatives that I spoke about, which were a part of Reimagine Rockdale, from the landing page to direct mail to surveys, so forth and so on. Next slide, please. Okay. Rockdale County's 5-year strategic plan, it really outlines the county's goals, objectives, and action plans. So this plan defines how our government will allocate resources, engage the community, provide services to constituents, and also establish key performance metrics, those KPIs. Okay. Next slide, please. Meeting the needs of the community is absolutely critical. This was a quote that was taken from the Atlanta Regional Commission. Our counties play a critical role in building vibrant communities for all. So if you notice, Rockdale County's demographics are changing. Both our youth population and aging population are both very critical to Rockdale County, as well as the middle age and the families, so forth and so on. Next slide, please. Please let me know if I'm moving too fast. I'll slow
You're doing
down.
good.
Okay. Okay, so on this slide, I really just wanted to emphasize that the Rockdale County strategic plan is shaped by those county demographics that I talked about. Also some smart growth strategies and a commitment to access, equity, and innovation, which establishes a strong path towards a dynamic and inclusive future. So as we think about the youth population, we think about, the middle age and also the senior populations, we have to make sure that Rockdale County is inclusive and considerate of all people. So that's one of the reasons why this is featured here. Next slide, please. Okay. We can move forward past this slide as well. The most important thing on that last slide was Rockdale County will hit 100,000 people, and that's going to take place between 2029 and 2030 as projected for right now. Okay. All right. So the Reimagine Rockdale strategic plan encompasses all county functions and aligns with the following plans: the comprehensive plan, the transit plan, departmental master plans, regional plans, and outlooks. So central to this strategic plan is the use of data. So I was able to utilize, and thank you very much to our planning and development department and RDOT as well, that were able to share the survey results that they had with me, as well as the plans that were also incorporated into Reimagine Rockdale. Okay. As well, insights from the Atlanta Regional Commission, the United States Census Bureau, National Association of Counties, and other resources were utilized to guide the county's direction. Next slide, please. Our commitment that was developed as a result of the survey results, meeting with the citizens, speaking with all of our key stakeholders, is making our best even better. This means that we have a continuous commitment to continuous improvement with a proactive and forward-looking approach and excellence in all aspects of county governance and service provision. So we are focusing on our people, our purpose, and our partners. Next slide, please. Okay. Additionally, a gold standard for Rockdale County has been created with regard to this Reimagine Rockdale strategic plan. So through visionary leadership, responsible stewardship, transparent, high-performing governance, and unwavering community engagement, we aspire to create a vibrant and forward-looking county where people are proud to live, work, and play. In addition, we have a statement of purpose. Our statement of purpose is that Reimagine Rockdale ensures a future for Rockdale County that is strong, safe, healthy, and vibrant. It creates conditions that support a modernized and viable ecosystem and is considerate of the evolving needs of the community and its members. Next slide, please. What I wanted to really showcase here is that Reimagine Rockdale establishes a whole community approach. And we will do this within 4 targeted areas, and those are governance and organizational, social, economic, and environmental. Okay. Next slide, please. Our values have also been updated. So our new values for our next strategic plan, or this strategic plan, are integrity, empathy, listening, leadership, collaboration, and inclusivity. Next slide, please. The 6 strategic goals that have been established are: the first one, demonstrate Rockdale County's gold standard. That was the standard that I showed you earlier. Number 2 is to improve access to services and delivery. Goal 3 is to energize strategic growth. Goal 4 is to enhance investments to improve quality of life, which include public safety, public health, and parks and recreation. Goal 5 is to strengthen infrastructure and transportation. And goal 6 is to integrate innovation. Next slide, please. Okay. Our mission and vision statements are here as well. to enhance the quality of life for all residents by fostering a safe, inclusive, and an innovative community that embraces sustainable growth, preserves our legacy, and provides exceptional public services. The mission statement for Rockdale County is Rockdale County envisages a future where every resident thrives in a dynamic, connected, and resilient community. We strive to be a leading model of innovation, sustainability, and diversity where generations can collaborate, learn, and grow together. Next slide, please. Okay. So when we get into strategic planning, sometimes the question is asked, how are you going to measure, right, your performance? How do you know that we're on target? So within the strategic plan, you will see KPIs that have been established, which are those key performance indicators. So we have the key metrics and analysis, some targets for each goal. In addition to that, on the right-hand side, although it's tiny, there's a dashboard where we also have some stoplights or signals so we are able to easily see where we are tracking. Next slide, please. Okay. So the key initiatives, I'll move pretty fast because there are many initiatives. These are just some that I wanted to just kind of highlight. When we think about goal 1, demonstrating Rockdale County's gold standard, that will include some goal setting. It's informed by data, communications, accountability. In addition to that, Rockdale 100 is going to be absolutely critical. This is a shared vision and smart growth strategy for the anticipated population increase to 100,000 people. This will have projections up to the year 2040. So I just really wanted to highlight that, and I'll move pretty fast. I'll kind of skip over these other ones because you'll actually be able to see these in the plan and drill down. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. Next slide. Okay. Key plan components that I'd like to really highlight are the Reimagine Rockdale Together overview. As I talked about, that community engagement piece, Reimagine Rockdale Together is not going away. Just in the process, just learning that, you know, our citizens have a lot to say, the key stakeholders, City of Conyers, so many different organizations. It really takes a village or more, it takes a whole community to really drive this strategic plan. So we're going to keep this going. I often say we are getting survey results still every week. Individuals are still completing the survey, so we want to make sure that we do continue listening to the citizens. Next in the plan, you'll see some historical context, Envision Rockdale highlights how we performed against the last strategic plan. There are maps, research finding, other data sources that are also included within the plan. We have all of the Reimagine Rockdale strategic goals outlined, as well as the priority projects and initiatives for the next 5 years. So that's every department over the next 5 years is featured on those documents as well. Next slide. Okay. The snapshot and calendar is included, so that's an easy snapshot where you're able to see every plan strategy that needs to be developed over the next 5 years, the performance metrics and analysis, the implementation plan with monitoring and evaluation, and last, there's the appendice that has our terminology and references. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, great. So in conclusion, to restate that the Reimagine Rockdale strategic plan will focus on continuous improvement and data-informed decision-making to build a resilient, inclusive, and sustainable community that thrives in the face of change. The Reimagine Rockdale plan will be made available via the Rockdale County website and Reimagine Rockdale Together. So within the next 24 hours, you will be able to see the new strategic plan. So once again, I would like to thank the Board of Commissioners and everyone that participated in the development of Reimagine Rockdale.
Y'all, let's give Ms. Chester a round of applause. I mean, wow. Wow. You know, very quickly, I will say, Ms. Chester, when you took lead on this project some year plus months ago, your passion completely embodies and embraces this project as a whole, and your leadership and you working with each and every one of our county departments, community entities, the city, the school board, all of our law enforcement entities. Your work has really been the gold standard itself. Y'all give Ms. Chester another round of applause. Absolutely. Real quick, I want to yield to Commissioner Washington and then to Commissioner Williams if they have any comments about Reimagine Rockdale.
Actually, yes. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. We started this with a smaller version, not as intimate or intricate as this one, and you have taken this to the next level. I appreciate all of your hard work, all of your time and talent that you have put into this. And I truly hope that this is something that carries on, because it is definitely something that is needed. It's something that we have seen throughout the country with people or administrations, counties, developing a strategic plan. And it's not enough just to have the strategic plan. Somebody has to monitor it. Somebody has to make sure that it's being implemented and that the goals are being kept. So I do hope that that is the case with Rockdale County. But outside of that, you have done a tremendous job. Thank you so much. And we couldn't have had a better person to come in and do this work.
Commissioner Williams.
So I was thinking back to when I first took office in 2015, and we had no plan.
Right.
And that was very frustrating to me, because in my mind, a plan not only focuses on where you're headed with your work, but it also focuses on how you're spending your funds, the taxpayer money, and what the priorities are. And like you said, it takes the community to help you understand what the priorities are. We did do Envision Rockdale shortly after the two of you took office, and we got that rolling and off the ground. And that was a great foundation. But what you have done with Reimagine Rockdale is take that whole process to the next level. It's, I think it's simplified in terms of the way to read it and understand it, and yet it's very complex. But it's presented in such a way that it's understandable, and people can follow it, and it's very exciting. I'm really excited about this new plan and where it can take Rockdale County in the next 5 years. Right. Thank you so much for your leadership, for your skills, and we knew that you were the right person to lead this. Absolutely. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, again, and we won't belabor it, but I will say, Ms. Chester, you've done a phenomenal job representing Rockdale County and leading this effort. The several things you talked about through your presentation, collaboration, I heard it mentioned several times, and I think the strongest point that you reiterated throughout your presentation was community engagement and how significant community engagement is here in Rockdale County. And then I love the 3 Ps: people, purpose, and partners. I'll give it up for Ms. Chester again.
Thank you.
All right, we've got another presentation. I think Chief McDaniel, I'm gonna call you up while the getting is good.
Excellence beyond our standards, service beyond your expectations is the motto of Rockdale County Fire Rescue.
Like you're bragging, Chief.
I am.
Okay, that's all right.
I am, and it's a great day. But you don't have to take my word for it. We have it in writing. Yesterday we received our report, and let me go back. I've stood before you all several times, numerous times, talking about the ISO Insurance Service Organization rating. Rockdale County Fire Rescue was reevaluated earlier in the year, and we received the report yesterday. And we are excited to talk about it, but I want to share this with my staff, if y'all would please stand up, and particularly Dr. Arkla Allen is our compliance and accreditation manager who drove this, who was the person speaking with CREPC and all the representatives and gathering information. So I want to share this honor with her and let her talk a little bit about it. and then we're going to tell you what that new rating is, okay?
All right.
All right,
Very
let's
good.
go.
Dr. Allen.
Dr. Allen?
Good morning, Chairman,
Good morning.
Commissioners,
Good morning.
constituents, and stakeholders of Rockdale County. I am Dr. Allen, and I proudly represent the Rockdale County Fire Rescue Department. In February of this year, we had the Insurance Service Office to come and do an on-site, thorough analysis of our fire suppression program, utilizing a fire suppression rating scale. The data was collected from E911, Water Resources, and the fire department. ISO utilized this data to come up with the PPC, which is the Public Protection Classification Rating. ISO can give a PPC rating between 1 and 10. 1 being that the community has exhibited an exemplary program for fire suppression. If you receive a 10, that means they have not quite met the ISO standards. It is with great honor and extreme gratitude that through the collaborative efforts of E911, Water Rescue, and the fire department, that I announce that Rockdale County has received an ISO rating of 2/2X.
Wow.
This is a significant feat for Rockdale County.
Absolutely.
In that by us going from a 3/3X rating that was given in September of 2018, going to a 2/2X that will be implemented November 1st of this year, this could potentially reduce the insurance premium ratings, not just for commercial property owners, but for residential property owners as well.
Very good.
I think that's
Amen.
very ISO has assessed nearly 40,000 communities across the nation. Rockdale County now joins the nation of 2,604 counties nationwide, and only 66 communities in the state of Georgia that has obtained a Class 2 ISO rating. But the work is not done. In fact, it has just begun. It is our goal by 2029, which will be our next ISO assessment, we are striving to receive an ISO rating of 1.
Absolutely.
We are going to receive an ISO rating of 1, but it's going to take the collaboration and efforts from every department that's involved. We are in the infancy stages right now of developing committees, teams for the after action ISO so that we could collaborate on a monthly, periodic basis so that we can review the findings and continue to strive toward gaining that ISO rating of 1.
Right.
If you're interested in finding out more about the ISO and how the ISO rating affects our community, I would implore you to reach out to the website, www.isomitigation.com. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you so much, Dr. Allen. Yes.
So once again, I want to thank you all because this is a collaboration, of course, E911 Water, but thanks to the Board of Commissioners for helping us. When we talked about ISO from the very first time. Prior to 2018, Rockdale County was a 4.9. That 4 represents the number of addresses that are within 5 miles of a fire station. The 9 speaks to the number of addresses that are within a 5 mile of a fire station, but more than 1,000 feet from a hydrant. So then in 2018, we went to a 3.3. Now here we are in 2024, we're at a 2.2. So what are we saying? Rockdale County Fire Rescue, excellence beyond our standards, service beyond your expectations.
Thank you. Commissioners, I have to say, we know how important the ISO rating is in Rockdale County. Not only the fine work from the leadership of Chief McDaniel and the entire leadership command and all of the men and women who wear the uniform for the Rockdale County Fire and Rescue, but more importantly for our citizens, the impact. Dr. Allen talked about the impact not only on the commercial side, but on the homeowner side. This is going to be a big deal in terms of homeowners insurance and bringing it full circle. So this is another pivot towards progress in Rockdale County. Let's give them another round of applause. All right, commissioners, do you want to take a 3 to 5 minute break, or do you want to just keep rocking and rolling? Because we've still got a robust agenda ahead of us to move forward with. What is your pleasure?
I think we need a short break.
Okay, we'll take 3 minutes. 3 minutes break. 3 minutes. We'll be back at you. we've had a list of special recognitions and presentations this morning. It's now after the noon hour, and we will be moving forward with our agenda this morning. And Commissioners, we are now down to item number 4, approval of the agenda. What is your pleasure?
I move to approve the agenda as published.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 5, approval of the minutes from June 25th of 2024.
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
I second the
It's
motion.
been properly motioned and second. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Unfinished business, item number 6.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have one item, item 280, rezoning case 2024-08, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 1955 Flat Shoals Road from R1 Single Family Residential District to C1 Local Commercial District, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading this morning, or this afternoon.
So I do have a question before we do a motion. We previously deferred it in order to kind of define what the property the best use for that property would be. So has there been any,
So, Madam Commissioner, if I could, I want to
information on
call
that?
up Deputy Director Wheeler to the podium and maybe just give a refresher of the conditions that were recommended on the property and where we are.
Good afternoon, not good evening, I apologize. For this, the applicant had requested to rezone the subject property from R1 to C1 for the potential of a development of a commercial property. Staff did recommend several approval with several conditions, as well as the Planning Commission as well. Certain conditions or certain uses were hopefully not to be developed on the site, was a pawn shop, liquor store, as well as cash checking places, anything, those type of uses that weren't fitted within the entire area. The only thing of connote that was brought out last time was a gas station. A gas station wasn't listed on the prohibited use as well. Commissioner Washington at the last BOC hearing was I wouldn't say, I don't want to put words in your mouth, ma'am, but she did want to include that use on the property. But the applicant at that time had engaged in several conversations with potential buyers, and one was for a potential gas station. As he listed out a history of going back and forth with one particular developer who was trying to develop a gas station, would try to lowball him on his property, but however bought the property across the street from him at a different amount of money. So therefore, that's why he did not want to include gas station on the list of prohibited uses for his subject property.
okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Deputy Director. So what's your pleasure?
So Commissioner Washington, I'm going to let you make the motion on this.
I move to deny, based upon the criteria listed in Rockdale County Code, Section 2238-4, I hereby move to deny this ordinance as presented.
I second that motion. It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
Mr.
Nay.
Chairman, are you opposed, Commissioner
Yes,
Williams?
nay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so let the record reflect that Commissioner Williams is voting nay. She's opposed.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. The next item is there are no items on consent today. We will go item by item and vote. So that takes us to the regular agenda. Item 312 is with the Georgia Department of Agriculture through the Emergency Management Agency, Animal Services Division. This is for the spay, neuter, dog and cat sterilization grant in the amount of $12,000 with no match, and this is for 12 months.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the
It's
motion.
been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 313 is with the Georgia Housing and Finance Authority, also known as the Georgia Department of Community Affairs. through the Board of Commissioners Office for the 2024 Homeless Point in Time Census Grant Funds through the DCA. This is up to $2,000 in reimbursement. The term is November 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024.
Absolutely.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second that
It's
motion.
been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
So do we know how much we spent to get reimbursed? Is it the $2,000 is a limit from DCA?
I'm gonna, Ms. Polite is gonna come on up and give us an update real quick. Good afternoon, Ms. Polite.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioners. So we are being reimbursed $672. It's for all of the supplies, for the volunteers, for the morning of the count. So we did that count on January 23rd. And we do have a graphic with some of the results. I think PR's got that. Okay, and so this is just a snapshot from our pink count. We had 90 survey responses. These responses are still unofficial, as they have not been fully accepted by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. So that's the final stage of the pit count, and that's happening now with HUD. We had 47 folks that we interviewed, so there was a survey that went along with the point in time count. So 47 of those folks were interviewed. We observed 21. They either did not want to give responses, or they may have been in an area where the volunteer did not feel comfortable reaching out to that individual. We found 22 individuals who were in vehicles or some sort of makeshift shelter around the county. And 43 were defined as literally homeless by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and that means they were found in a space that is not meant for human habitation. We do have some demographics. So the majority of our folks that were found, we had 17 folks of African American race, as 11 of white, and 13. We did have 13 that were unknown across, so we didn't have a race or a gender or an age for those folks. So those were probably part of our 21 observed. Our largest age population was 35 to 54, and our second was 55 plus. So we found more age population with the pit count. We had 44 volunteers for the pit count, and that's what the $672 is refunding. Some of the supplies that we bought for those volunteers, we had flashlights, hand warmers. We also created care packages and passed those out to the homeless individuals that participated in the survey.
Okay, thank you. I'm surprised at the ages of the
We were
people.
too.
Yeah.
Jessica, thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, very good. Okay.
Ready for the next item?
Yes.
All right. Item 314 is with the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, through the Juvenile Court. This is for a signature authorizing letter for replacement of Diana Summers for the program administrator, with Tamara McCombs as the new program administrator in the SAMHSA system. This is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 315 is with the Council of Accountability Court Judges to the Juvenile Court for the Drug Court. This is a grant award in the amount of $61,575. There is a $10,866 match required. The term is July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, and this is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 316 is with the Council of Accountability Court Judges to the Juvenile Court for Drug Court. This is a grant award in the amount of $68,994. There is a $12,175 match required. The term is July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. This is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 317 is with the Council of Accountability Court Judges to the Juvenile Court. This is for the Family Treatment Court. This is a grant award in the amount of $50,577. There is an $8,925 match required. The term is July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, and this is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
Properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 318 is with the Criminal Justice of Coordinating Council, the CJCC, through the state court for the DUI Court Supervised Treatment Program. This is a grant award in the amount of $88,638. There's a $15,642 match required. The term is July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025, and this is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions?
So, I might point out that when we talk about a match, it's usually not dollars per se that the county has to provide to match, but it could be the salary, of a person that's doing the work, or services that are already being provided, or items that we already have that are used as that match.
Well, that's good clarity.
Thank you.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 319 is with Youth Mobile LLC through the Accountability Courts. This is for the non-emergency transportation unit price contract. This is change order number 1 to contract 2022-105. This is grant funded and submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify the contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We're going to probably have to hire us some ushers at the door. These folks with this gum and candy wrapper and peppermint and stuff like that are just distracting. Some of them old school, the missionary ushers, we're going to have to get us some of them in here to be able to kind of use that one finger to get some of these folks' attention. They just wrap. Don't worry about it, Commissioner, if you ain't getting it. It'll be all right.
I got it. I was trying to figure out why.
Next item, please.
All right. Item 320 is with Berlinda Jackson through the State Court Accountability Courts. This is for the part-time surveillance officer. This is change order number 2 to contract 2022-75. This is to renew the contract term through December 31st, 2024. This is a grant-funded expenditure.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 321 is with the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council through the Superior Court for Resource Court. This is a grant award in the amount of $167,979. There is a $29,643 match required. The term is July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. This is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
Second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 322 is with Matthew Brian Lantrip through the Superior Court Adult Resource Court. This is for part-time case manager in an amount not to exceed $16,191 per year. This is through June 30th, 2025 with 3 12-month renewal options. This is a grant-funded expenditure.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 323 is with the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council through the Superior Court Drug Court. This is a grant award in the amount of $272,000. There is a $48,159 match required. The term is July 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025 and is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 324 is with Andrew Moman through the Superior Court for life skills support for accountability courts. It is $200 per session for 40 hours per week, and this is through December 31st, 2024, with option to renew 2 one-year periods.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions?
Yeah, how long are these sessions?
It's a good question. Does anybody know? Finance? Chief?
No, but we can find out.
Okay, all right, we'll go.
I mean, I was just looking at, for 40 hours a week, $200 per session. I hope they're not 1 hour sessions.
Yeah, we will find out and get back to
Well,
you.
I mean,
That would be an astronomical amount.
it would be a large amount, but it says teaching life skills support for accountability. So if they're teaching life skills, it's going to take more than an hour to teach it.
Well, I would think so.
Yeah. Okay, we'll circle back to that one.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll put a, you want to just, Commissioner, you want to just hold tight on that when we come back to it? Or you
Are
want
we
to go
not
ahead?
gonna
Or you
approve
prepared
it
it?
based on the?
I'd kind of like to hold off till I know how much money we're really talking about.
So would you like to defer it and put it under unfinished business?
Yes.
Or,
Oh,
okay.
we could do that.
So could you restate your motion,
Okay,
please?
make a motion.
Thank you.
Commissioner.
Okay, so I move to defer this
Yes.
to unfinished business
I second.
at the next board
Yes.
meeting.
Okay, it's been properly motioned to defer item number 2024-324, and we will come back to it in the days ahead.
It will be at the next board meeting.
The very next board
Yes.
meeting. All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Thank you. Item 325 is with Jerry L. Johnson and Associates through the General Services Department for the Mental Health Ward of the Sheriff's Office. This is change order number 1 to contract 2023-151. This is for the complete low voltage rough-in work while the floor and the wall masonry concrete cutting is done. So it's an additional $44,649. The previous contract amount was $1,931,505, and this is SPLAST funded.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 326 is with Mansfield Oil Company, and this is through the General Services Department. This is 2024 fuel for unleaded and diesel contract update to continue the use as a secondary provider under the Sourcewell contract. This is for 1 year with option to renew additional 1-year periods.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 327 is with Peach State Construction LLC through the General Services Department for design, construction, and installation of the Costly Mill pedestrian bridge. It is $765,300 with a 10% contingency of $76,530. This is 365 days from the notice to proceed, and this is funded through impact fees.
I move to approve the contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions?
Yes, where is this pedestrian bridge going?
And do we have a schematic?
Good morning, Chairman, Madam Commissioners.
Good morning.
Because this is a, good afternoon, I'm sorry, yes. This will be going over the Costly Mill Bridge right at the event center. So one of the ideas is to complete the loop trail that goes around Costly Mill, goes up to the side, comes around through the woods and across the front of this. This would go down by the event center and then cross it, and it would also, we would have lights on it. We'd have items that could be for the event center, for weddings, for events. They have a picture spot as well. The contractor, since it was a design build, they did submit some rough schematics, but the very first portion of it is to go through a design process, something that would be structurally sound and fitting, and that would fit in with the event center. So that'd be the first stage in this contract.
Do you know when we would get that?
as fast as humanly possible, but in all likelihood, we have to go through permitting. It'll have to cross over Big Haynes Creek, so we'll have to go through permitting with either EPD or the Corps of Engineers. So if I had to take a guess, I would say probably the end of next year.
For the schematic?
No, for the entire construction of it. For the schematics, we're probably looking at maybe a month or two till we have those.
Okay.
So, Director Hammer, will this bridge be a motorist type bridge too? or just
Pedestrian
walking
only.
bridge?
No, just a
Pedestrian.
walking bridge.
Okay,
That's correct.
Okay. All right, very good. Okay, sounds like it's going to be a really nice.
exciting.
Is it going to swing?
No, it will be nice and sturdy. It will not move.
Liability involved in that.
Steel and
swing like
concrete.
that,
Yes.
Okay.
Glass bottom?
That would add a little bit of cost, I think.
Just asking.
Thank you, Director.
Okay, thank you.
We had a motion and a second.
It has been properly. Has anyone?
Motion and a second, need a vote.
We made them. Okay, it's been properly motioned. Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. All right, next item.
Okay. Item 328 is with Enterprise Fleet Management through the General Services Department, Fleet Services Division, for the Fleet Replacement Plan. This is change order number 17 to contract 2022-164. This is for 2 vehicles for water resources at $19,590.24 per year, and this is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second the
It's
motion.
been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 329 is with Enterprise Fleet Management through the General Services Department Fleet Division. This is for the Fleet Replacement Plan, change order number 18 to contract 2022-164. This is for 2 vehicles for water resources in the amount of $15,185.28 per year, and this is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 330 is with Pratt Recycling through the General Services Department for dumpster services for county facilities. This is a unit price and a change order number 2 to contract 2022-118. There's been a 3.5% price increase. The amount is $4,735.32 increase per year through August 8th, 2025.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 331 is with Comcast Enterprise Service to the Technology Services Department. This is a correction from the June 25th, 2024 BOC agenda. The Tax Commissioner ENS Circuit Fiber Service in the amount of $430.92 per month, with a total of $25,855.20 per year as written on the June 25th, 2024 BOC agenda, and it should have read $25,855.20 per year for a total of 5 years, and is now submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second that
It's
motion.
been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 332 is with Comcast Enterprise Service to the Technology Services Department. This is for the Tax Commissioner, the Tax Commissioner's Data Security Edge Package. The amount is $446.90 per month for a total of 36 months, and a total of $16,088.40 plus a one-time fee of $129.35. This is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 333 is with Comcast Enterprise Service through the Technology Services Department for the Emergency Management Agency Data Security Edge Package. The amount is $446.90 per month for 36 months, with a total of $16,088.40 plus a one-time fee of $129.35.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions about this item? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 334 is with Infotech Research Group through the Technology Services Department. This is a service agreement terms and conditions for online IT research and advisory membership services that include leadership training, software tools, and templates. The amount is $43,608.24 per year for 3 years.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 335 is with Environmental Systems Research Institute, ESRI, through the Technology Services Department. This is for the Enterprise License Agreement annual subscription. The amount is $58,500 per year, and it's for 3 years.
I move to approve the contract as presented.
I second that motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions?
I have a comment. When we started 7.5 years ago, there was no kind of advanced training like this going on in IT, and there's been no, the way that this administration, under the leadership of Director Moore Jackson, has poured into this Technology Services Department. She has become a leader in her field to the point where I've been fighting I won't even let them talk to her, other commissioners in other counties because her name is so prominent. So I would like to commend Technology Services, not just for the great work that they've done over this past few years, but the commitment that they have to leadership training and development that you all have done in that department.
Let's give them a round of applause. Absolutely. Absolutely. We've come a long way in technology services in Rockdale County. And Director Moore Jackson is a very well respected and known name throughout the region and through the National Association of Counties. She is a major player and a go-to person. And the thing is, she represents Rockdale. Can y'all give the director another round of applause? Yes. Yes. I'm. Since you did it, there we go. Come on up, director, real quick. I want you to give us a real brief, because what we just experienced last weekend didn't just impact Rockdale County, but it impacted the region, the nation. There was news stories about what was happening in terms of cyber and how we were locked down here in Rockdale. Give us a brief in terms of what you and your team had to do and work through the night, because I received information from Chief Sanders like 2 in the morning that sir. You all were boots on the ground and you was wide open like it was 2 in the afternoon.
Yes, that is an accurate assessment of what happened last week. And it's still ongoing for some entities. And thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you very much for your kind comments. All of you, thank you both, Madam Commissioners. Basically, last Thursday night, it was a global incident that actually took place, and it was actually a cybersecurity company by the name of CrowdStrike, where in layman's term, basically a file was misprogrammed. And it was a programming area, but that had a ripple effect throughout the world. Basically, you had airlines that came to a halt, you had state computer systems, basically our GCIC systems and everything that's running all of our state and county organizations. And then we had quite a few here in the county, and of course numerous across the world, the dreaded blue screens. And with the dreaded blue screens, all of the corrections had to be made manually. So starting around 2 o'clock in the morning, that was Thursday night going into Friday morning, we started working on the incident in order to make sure that the computers here throughout the county were actually manually corrected, and then also our servers. And we were able to accomplish that by working with our partners that are some of our vendors, and then also some of our other industry partners in order to make sure that we were able to get the county computer systems up and running again.
Director Moore Jackson, thank you for your incident response team who responded in the wee hours of the night and got the county back up and running. I talked to some commissioners in other places, their payroll were actually impacted, and that's a very critical area for employees, but all of the systems were under attack. As you stated, it was a global thing. But thank you for your incident response team. Y'all give Technology Services another round of applause. Keep up the good work. Put me back on track.
All right, so we had a motion and a second.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, Madam Commissioners, I would like to request that we revisit item 323. If we could all turn back to item 323 real quick.
Okay, you got some updates?
Yes, I do, and I've got two, but we're going to start with this one. Okay. Item 323 is listed on the agenda in the amount of $272,000. That should actually read $272,900. So if we could we go back and vote on this item again, with it being $272,900.
Okay, and thank you for bringing that clarification. Commissioners, what's your pleasure on the correction?
I move to ratify the contract as $272,900.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Appreciate the correction.
But wait, that's not all. We have another one. So, if we could just go to the next item, which is 324.
Okay.
Commissioner Williams had a question about how much it costs per session. Chief Sanders has the answer.
Chief?
So the $200 session, it's for an hour and a half. The Superior Court answered me.
Okay, so, and how many sessions do they have in a week? Do we know that? You know, I'm looking at, I am not questioning the work that Mr. Moman does, because I know him and I know that it's very valuable. I just want to have an idea of how much money total that we're talking about. Oh,
Dana White from Superior Court is on her way over here to answer questions regarding this contract.
Okay,
y'all rocking and rolling today. That's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you want to...
We will leave this one the way it is
Until
right
Dana
now,
White
because
gets
if there's still questions, then we were just going to leave it under unfinished business. But we still have time, so.
Okay, all right. All right,
TBD.
we'll go back to where we were, and then when Ms. White gets here, we'll come back to it.
Excellent. Okay, so now we're to item 336. Item 336 is with E.R. Snell Contractor through the Transportation Department. This is for the Sigmund Road Widening Phase 2. And this is change order number 8 to contract 2021-35. This is for the traffic signal plan revisions at the intersection of Sigmund Road and Urban Bridge Road. It's an additional $23,881, and this is SPLOST funded.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. I will make a point that the sheriff's deputies have been positioned on Sigmund Road now. They're sitting out there. So you're driving down Sigmund Road. I know the road is wide and it's a 4-lane road. It looks good and all that good stuff, but you better slow down. Because the police is out there and you're going to get a ticket. And you heard what the sheriff said earlier. Don't call him. Absolutely. So slow down on Sigmund Road. It's nice. It's so spread out. It just makes you feel free. You might increase your speed. But if you increase your speed, you're going to get what, Vanoy? A ticket. That's right. All right. Just want to make sure you're still with me today. Okay. All right. Next item.
All right. Item 337 is with the City of Conyers through the Water Resources Department. This is for the South Main Street Sidewalk Project and water main relocations. The amount is $420,172.70. The estimated reimbursement to the city includes a 10% contingency, and this is for an estimated of 12 months.
I move to approve the contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Any comments or questions?
So is this for part of the courthouse? Or is it just we're moving them water mains?
Director Pete.
Good afternoon, Commissioner. I couldn't hear your question.
I said, is this part of the courthouse Or
No,
are we just
no,
moving
no.
the water mains?
No, we're just relocating our water main. They have a sidewalk project in the city of Conyers, and our water main is a conflict with the construction work, so we're just relocating the water main.
But we're paying them to,
Actually, yeah, we're paying them through their contract. So their contractors is going to relocate our water mains, and we'll reimburse the city.
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Director, for that clarification. Man, you sharp today. that beard, you really, y'all give Director Peak a round of applause. My goodness. Yes, sir. All right, yes, sir. GQ. All right.
Okay, we had a motion and a second. We still have a long way to go, guys.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Yes. Next item, please.
All right, item 338 is with the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council through the Finance Department. This is for delegating signing authority and a signature authorization letter.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 339 is with the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council through the Superior Court Accountability Court for the Adult Treatment Court Housing Grant Acceptance. The amount is $133,333 with a match of $33,333, and the term is July 2024 through June 2026, and this is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, next item, please.
Item 340 is a requisition through the General Services Department. This is for Floor Creations for supply and install for the LVP and Cove Base in the Office of the Tax Commissioner. The location is 1088 West Avenue. The amount is $28,500.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 341 is a requisition through the General Services Department Fleet Division for the TYMCO, and this is Model 600 sweeper with standard equipment for the stormwater, and this is in the amount of $349,175.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 342 is a requisition through the General Services Department for Beatty Construction for the building renovations for the Office of the Tax Commissioner at 1088 West Avenue. The amount is $98,870.19, and this is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 343 is a requisition through the General Services Department for Laz and Associates for renovations for the Office of the Tax Commissioner at 1096 West Avenue. The amount is $68,008.10. This is submitted for ratification.
Okay, the agenda says $62,008. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I move to ratify this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 344 is a requisition through the General Services Department for Laz and Associates for Black Shoals attendant booth renovations. The amount is $73,096.10. This is SPLOST funded.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor? Are there any comments or questions on this one?
Do we have a scope of work for this project?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Again. Yes, so this is, if you go up to Black Shoals, when you go in and you check in and you pay the fee to go fishing or whatever, that little attendant booth, it doesn't have a restroom on it. It's been there for
Forever.
ages,
Been there
forever.
forever.
It's been hit by various vehicles going by there, and so the scope of work is to remove the existing attendant booth and to build a new concrete block building with a metal roof on the top of it. It'll have 2 stations as well, so it's expanding it, making it a little bigger, and that includes electrical, septic, plumbing, the concrete, everything that goes along with it. It's turnkey.
Thank you.
It's going to be a whole lot better. You call it a booth, I call it a shack.
Yeah.
You think about having an employee out there, as hot as it is in there, no restroom in there. That's crazy as all get out. Been there forever. I'm glad to see. Y'all give this a round of applause. It's the little things like this that make a big difference. You think if you had an employee out there, even part-time, what you going to do? You cooped up in that place like that. So come on back up here. I want to ask you this. I want to find out this. Director Hammer, thank you for moving with this project. But my question is, how soon will you have this in place?
We'll have to talk to the contractor to find out when he can get started. It's usually within 2 or 3 weeks of the approval of the contract. Project like this probably take about 2 months to complete.
Okay, all right. Well, this is one we need to move on because we've got employees who are stationed out there, and this is going to make a big difference on them and the work day and the whole mindset being in that booth.
So will it be climate controlled then?
Yes, ma'am. It will be air
It's
conditioned.
got to be.
And we've worked with Parks and Recreation so that it'll remain open while they're doing the construction as well, so we won't shut that down.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Yes.
Awesome.
Lord, it's got to have air conditioning. Yes. Okay. All right. Next item, please.
Motion, we need a vote.
Oh, yeah, let's vote on this. Yes. It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Absolutely. Let me tell you, we got to move, but I got to say this, Commissioner, because I'm thinking about the employee that works there.
Absolutely.
That's the person I'm thinking. This kind of renovation, he says, been there a long time. He's so nice. It's been there forever. And it's not a booth, it's a shack. And we ought to be embarrassed, and it's time for the upgrade. And the upgrade represents Rockdale County.
So I wasn't questioning the need for it or the desire to have it, but we just had a renovation on the tax commissioner's office for $62,000. Then we said that we're going to use $73,000 in SPLOST fund on the requisition. It says attendance booth renovations. So my question was the difference in the kind of buildings, what was going on, and why it was so much more for a booth renovation than it was for an entire building. Right. So that's why I asked the question.
So that brought clarity.
If she hadn't asked it, I would have.
Very good question. I think it's very good. Next item, please.
So, Mr. Chairman, I believe we have Dana White with us, who just came in to address some of the questions. Okay. So if we want to go back to item 324, if you come on to
324, Ms. White, you make your way on up
podium, and if you would like, I would, Ms. White, if you would like, I could restate what some of the questions are since she just walked in and joined us. So yes. It's about, if we have it up on the screen, you can see it. So with Mr. Momin's contract, we had some questions about how many sessions and how much per session and that type of thing. So.
Okay, we are expecting the sessions to be...
Ms. White, if you would use that mic that we spending a lot of money for so that everybody can hear you. All right.
Yes. So Mr. Momin will be providing life skill support services to our clients twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Okay. We're hoping to kind of see how it goes through the end of the year, which will be December. And then we will see if there's something ongoing that is helping with our clients in the accountability court program.
Oh, very good. Commissioner, does that bring the clarity?
That does. Okay. Because what I really was concerned about was, how many sessions a week were we talking about? And so I had an idea in my head of what it was costing. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I know Mr. Momin does really good work.
Yes, outstanding.
Yes.
Oh, I like that word. Listen, Ms. White, keep up the good work, and certainly appreciate you being able to come over and bring clarification to this particular item that the commissioner was referencing. Thank you. All right, very good.
So, Mr. Chairman, commissioners, with the new found information, would you like to revisit this item?
Yes, please.
All right. If you could state your motion again.
I move to approve the contract as presented.
I second that
It's
motion.
been properly motioned and second. Are there any additional comments or questions on this item? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you
Motion
so much.
carries.
Thank
Again, thank you. Give Ms. White a round of applause. Absolutely. Yes. All right, back on track.
Okay, item 345 is a requisition through the General Services Department for Laz and Associates. This is for the water treatment plant warehouse renovations. The amount is $94,315.10.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 346 is a requisition through the General Services Department for Laz and Associates for the Rockdale Water Resources Tatum Road headquarters renovations. The amount is $60,251.40.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 347 is a requisition through the General Services Department for Exemplis LLC doing business as Sit On It Care of Impact Office Interiors. Seating, I can't believe the things y'all make me say, but hey. Seating for the office of the Tax Commissioner located at 1088 West Avenue. The amount is $24,799.28, and this is submitted for ratification.
I move to approve, to ratify this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
And properly motioned and second. Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye.
I can't believe y'all let that moment slip away. No comments or
Don't do
questions.
it.
All right, item 348 is a requisition through the General Services Department for affordable interior systems, care of Impact Office Interiors, for furniture for the office of the Tax Commissioner located at 1096 West Avenue. The amount is $45,297 and is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 349 is a requisition through the General Services Department for affordable interior systems, care of Impact Office Interiors. This is for the furniture for the office of the Tax Commissioner located at 1088 West Avenue. The amount is $55,641.96 and is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
Does anybody know if they're going to have an open house at the new tax commissioner office when it opens up? Will there be an open house for people to go in, the citizens to go in and see Chief?
Yes, so once we have a final move-in date, she's working on that.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right. It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 350 is a requisition through the General Services Department for affordable interior systems, care of the Impact Office Interiors. This is for furniture for the Rockdale Water Resources Tatum Road headquarters. The amount is $86,550.12.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions?
Are we gonna have a open house for the Tatum Road headquarters?
Well, the truth of it is, it's always open out there. Because
I'm
they
just-
work
so that
24
when we-
hours a day. But I knew you just had to say that since I asked about the tax commissioner, right?
Exactly.
All right.
So it's, but this almost $100,000, we wanna see it too. so. No open house.
I don't think it would have the same effect.
No open house.
All right, motion and second. Now we need a
It's
vote.
been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Tatum Road.
All right.
Next item, please.
Item 351 is a requisition through the General Services Department for Floor Creations for supply and install LVP in the Water Resources Tatum Road headquarters. The amount is $40,000.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
Properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 352 is a requisition through the General Services Department for DAF Concrete. This is for the concrete pour for the metal storage building at the stormwater off Tatum Road. The amount is $34,890.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 353 is a requisition through the General Services Department for prime contractors for furnishing and installing the metal storage building for stormwater at Tatum Road. The amount is $193,471.21.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions?
Yeah, just still no open house?
It's stormwater this time. It's stormwater.
Oh, that's
I'll
right.
be
it
more
is.
than happy to have an open house. We actually are very happy since you got me up here with the renovations that were on with our new crew building out there. We did some wonderful renovations. We'd love you to come see it. I got butter cookies and Kool-Aid for you.
We take them. We take the red Kool-Aid.
The red Kool-Aid.
All right.
We just need a vote.
Right.
That's it.
All in favor?
All in favor say aye. Aye.
It's a
Motion-
team effort today.
Motion carries. Thank you. I was still on the butter cookies.
Yeah. You better make good on that, Director, or something. All right.
Yeah,
I
it
got
is old school.
All
Next
right.
item, please.
Item 354 is a requisition through the General Services Department for BioRestore. This is for emergency rainstorm damage remediation. The amount is $60,534.51, and this is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 355 is a requisition through the General Services Department for prime contractors. This is for the demolition of the tax commissioner's building. The amount is $86,659.94.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
Knock it down. It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
So
Item three-
when is this going to happen? I mean,
Director Hammer?
obviously, you
Director Hammer.
can't tear that building down until the renovations are finished.
Director Hammond, they have a big
West
sign that
Side.
says moving in August 2024. Next month they're moving.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
All the stuff you just approved.
That's correct. The tax commissioner will be moving, and then as soon as they move, we'll authorize the contractor to demolish the building. That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
You go look up, it's gonna be gone. Absolutely. All right, commissioners, what's your pleasure?
voted on
Where are
this
we?
one.
We're done with this
Voted
one?
on this one. All right, next item.
All right, next item, please.
Okay.
All right.
Item 356 is a requisition through the Sheriff's Office for the United Maintenance. This is for the replacement of the jail's RTU's old condenser. The amount is $22,801.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 357 is a requisition through Water Resources for Woolport. This is the temporary flow monitoring services to be used for Quig Basin sewer model calibration. The amount is $210,000.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 358 is a requisition for Water Resources through Core and Main to check valves. The amount is $15,296.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 359 is a requisition through Water Resources for Delta Municipal Supply for waterline parts. The amount is $19,551.55.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 360 is a requisition through the Water Resources Department for Delta Municipal Supply for water meters. The amount is $22,560. This is SPLOST funded.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
Item 361 is a requisition through the Technology Services Department for DICES Solutions. This is for the HD Dome cameras. The amount is $73,838.82.
I move to approve the requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 362 is a requisition through Technology Services for Act Zero for Managed Detection and Response Services. The amount is $52,296.60.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 363 is a requisition through EMA for Ceres Environmental Services for the tornado debris removal and disposal services. The amount is $21,772.78 additional. So the new purchase order total will be $346,772.78.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second that
It's
motion.
been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions?
That was one expensive little tornado.
Did a lot of damage.
It did.
It did. It killed the tree that got knocked down on my property. The shade plants that were all nearby have died.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 364 is a requisition through EMA for Motorola Solutions for equipment at the site, 2120 Farmer Road. The service will be from August 1st, 2024 through July 31st, 2025. The amount is $71,864.16.
I move to approve this requisition as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 365 is a requisition through Stormwater Management for ArborServe for tree removal for 3089 Flat Shoals Road, Conyers. The amount is $55,000 and is submitted for ratification.
I move to ratify this requisition as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 366 is an expenditure request for Quicket Solutions through the Technology Services Department. This is the annual subscription software for code enforcement and court solutions and 5G, 4G LTE data. The amount is $56,710.
I move to approve this expenditure request as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second, but I have some questions. My question, Director Moore Jackson, is are we getting the level of customer service that we deserve with this contract with Quicket?
Thank you for the chance to comment on that, sir. Our team has been working closely with the Quicket staff and the county components that are using that software in order to address that. And although the service level has not improved to the level that we would like for it to improve, so simultaneously, we have been working with all county components in order to look at demos for new software, and we're pursuing avenues to look at a software that will better suit the needs of Rockdale County.
Okay, thank you so much. Deputy Director Chandler, come on up. I want to talk to you. He's in charge of code enforcement. I want to find out from him, when I think about the men and women in code enforcement who use this product in the field, and we've had some issues, I want to know where are we with this before we approve this contract?
No, just as Director Moore Jackson has stated, right? It's intermittent. So the customer service wants a response. We have things that happen day to day. Anytime it could be just because of the weather's different. But with the software and with the 5G network, right? It's one of those things that, hey, we're counting on that new software.
So, Director Moore Jackson, are you saying to us that you believe that once we get this upgraded software, it will improve the capacity of this equipment between our code enforcement officers out in the street and bringing that data into their office and magistrate court? Is that what I'm hearing? Or
Actually, sir, basically this is the annual renewal for this software. For a software of this type of nature, it's not the type of software that you can just turn off and then turn a new one on. First of all, we had to bring all parties to the table, to include the court systems and then also the other components in the county that use the software, and they all have to come into agreement with the different demos that they're seeing as to which software application they would like to use next. So what we are doing is meeting with all of them in order to make sure that we acquire an adequate software that meets the needs of all of them. So this item on the agenda now is the renewal of the software that they are using now. Because if this software is not renewed while we are working and collaborating with them to help them find a new software, if this is not renewed in the interim, they will not have a software application to use.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you brought clarification to that because I've been monitoring this one myself for quite some time, and the in and out of this software. If we didn't approve this right now, they're not missing a thing, according to the code enforcement officers out on the street, because it works sometimes it don't work. It's off and on, off and on. When is the meeting scheduled with the other stakeholders?
This particular item has risen to the level of the fact that we have our Deputy Director of Technology Services. He meets every week with either a component here in the county and or the representative from Quicket, and of which he has endless documentation where he has been working with them in order to address the problems with this particular software. And one thing that we have found, that although they have corrected several issues, then additional issues would arise with the software. So therefore, that's why we're working with all the components here in the county in order to find them a new software.
Okay. Commissioner Williams, you would
So
say something.
how long is this contract with Quicket
Yeah,
Solutions?
Quicket.
How long is that for, this $56,000?
This renewal is for,
This is the annual.
This is the annual.
Okay. Will it take the whole year to, I'm just wondering, okay, will it take the whole year to find a new software? Will you be able to get out of this contract with them, prematurely before the end of the following year? Do you see what I'm saying?
It's more so all of the components in the county that use the software, all of them coming into agreement as to which software they would like to move to next. That's the key factor there.
And that has not been determined yet.
No, it has not, despite the fact, because like several vendors, they have viewed the demos several times. And it's just a matter of the county components making up their mind as to which software application they would prefer as the options that they have on the table.
I hear you. And who's leading that effort?
Deputy Director May.
Okay. So, Commissioner Washington, do you have any before I
Of which
go
I have been
forward?
working alongside him with this.
Okay.
So you said that if we don't approve this contract, then they'd have no software, but I'm also hearing that there's oftentimes they don't have any software. So what are they doing in that when they don't have the software?
Good question.
The representatives from Quicket have visited the county numerous times in order to address the different issues. This also goes back to something that since I have been here with Technology Services, that we make sure that we implement with every software application. It appears that a key step with implementing a software application was not thoroughly followed, and that is UAT, User Acceptance Training. Before a software application is added to an environment, all users that are using the software application should complete the critical step of user acceptance training. If user acceptance training had been completed prior to this software being purchased by the county, things that did not work from day one should have been addressed, or the county should not have moved forward with the contract.
I guess my question is, if we don't approve this contract and we leave the courts and code enforcement without this software, it should expedite all of this because there's nothing in place, but I need to know what they'll be doing in the interim.
So, Mr. Chandler, I think you more positioned to answer that question when you think about the code officers in the street. What happens if we don't renew this? What happens in terms of them doing their reports and citations? Explain that to
So
us.
we go back to hammer and chisel. Right, so right now we store all of our information in this software. We use it not just for a mobile tool, but in all our database. So ever since the day of inception in 2020, all the cases over these years up until now, that's where all our information is stored.
So does this bring a hardship on the officers more than the fact that this stuff don't work right anyway?
Most definitely.
Say again?
Most definitely.
Mr. Chairman, if I may also, when meeting with the magistrate, Chief Judge of 10, one of the concerns from the court is that if we did not renew this, the data is lost. So they must keep the data for court. So that's why a renewal is important until we have a new software in place, is the data. You know, think of all the court cases and all the backup information that is in there, we would lose that.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
Is there any way to check to see if we can do less than an annual, like a 6-month subscription, to put everybody on a timeline so that we can get what we need as far as the solution, but not have to obligate ourselves to a year of something that doesn't work?
I like that.
We can go back and check that for sure.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I was just going to say my suggestion would be to defer this item for the next board meeting to allow time to sort out these issues. So thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you, Executive Director Rutledge. Thank you, Director Moore Jackson and Deputy Director Chandler. And Commissioner, I do appreciate you all chiming in on this one. This is one we've been monitoring from the Office of the Chairman for quite some time. I like the recommendation of deferring it. It allows for Director Moore Jackson and Deputy Director May to circle the wagons with the other players in the county. But we've got to make a decision on this, and so let's bring this one back. And so I'll make a motion.
So if we could restate the motion for a deferral.
I move to defer this item
Yes,
to the
to the
next
yes.
regular scheduled voting session.
I second the motion, but I have a question. So if we defer this, are we on a tight timeline that this is going to create, a gap in service with them?
This is starting 6/17.
Well, we only deferred it to the next meeting.
Well, I know, but that's
I know what that means.
3 or 4 weeks away still.
Well,
3 weeks
this
away.
team has got to really collaborate very quickly. I mean, we've been dealing with this for quite some time, so it shouldn't be.
Yes.
I want to believe that most of the people I'm talking about are listening and watching to this broadcast.
Yes,
so they ought to be getting it together and getting prepared to collaborate and come up with a solution. Here's what we got to do, and the reason I'm bringing this up, because when we have issues with contractors who are doing business with the county, if they're not giving us the level of quality to service delivery, we've got to review those contracts and make a decision as a board. Either they get with the program, or we find somebody else out there that's doing it, or that can do it. I know Quicket is not the only provider in America that can provide this type of software for code enforcement operations. We've had hiccup after hiccup after hiccup. Somebody's got to make a decision. They got a week to do it. 1 week. Before we come back to, or when is the next meeting, Executive Director Rutledge?
So the next one would be in August. And let me
Okay,
give
well,
you the
that
exact
gives them a
voting.
little breathing room.
August
but they
13th.
they got to take quick puffs, because they got to breathe fast and come up with a decision.
Thank you, Chairman. And as you know, Technology Services Department has made recommendations that the county did need to move on with this. And it's basically the end users of the software all need to come into agreement as to which, basically the courts and the different departments that use the software need to decide what they would like to do
So
next.
thank you, and I'm going to say it, you don't have to, 2 places, magistrate court and code enforcement need to get their heads together and make a decision about the county spending the taxpayers' money on something that's not working. Next item, please.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, and to defer, so we need a vote.
Yes, aye.
You made the motion already, didn't you?
Yes.
I second the motion.
I second it.
You already second, or we got 2 seconds. We're
We
ready
just
to
need a
defer
vote.
this one.
Just a
It's
vote.
been properly motioned and second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
All right, item 367 is an expenditure request to the City of Conyers, to the Finance Department. This is for the landfill CAP repairs. The amount is $22,241.18.
I move to approve this expenditure request as presented.
I second that motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 368 is an expenditure request through the City of Conyers, through the Finance Department. This is for the post-closure landfill expenses, the amount of $16,050.72.
I move to approve this expenditure request as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries.
Item 369 is an expenditure request for Mr. Ronald Fairley through the Board of Commissioners Office for the Homelessness Task Force quarterly facilitation and consultation fee. The amount is $21,000.
I move to approve this expenditure request as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions?
Yes. When are we going to get a report on this?
Mr. Farley is coming in. I think he'll be in within the next couple of weeks to give us a final wrap-up on the work that they've been doing. And I'll tell you, he's done an excellent job leading. Jessica has been a part of that team representing Rockdale County. The effort in terms of what we're going to do in this community as it relates to the homeless population. So he's coming back, he's coming in with a final wrap-up and a recommendation as to how the county government, the city government, and the Rockdale County Public Schools collaboratively working together to come up with a solution. We can stop talking about this. We've done we put the task force together, they've done the research, they got the data. It's time to pull the trigger and make a decision. So he'll be in a couple of weeks.
Okay, good.
All right, so we had a motion and a second.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 370 is a list of surplus of equipment. The Sheriff's Office, Parks and Recreation, the Senior Services Division, Water Resources, Transportation, Tax Assessors, Fire Rescue, General Services, and the Juvenile Court.
I move to declare these items as surplus. I move to declare these items as surplus as presented.
I second the
It's
motion.
been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 371 is with Eastmore Development Company. This is the dedication of public water and sewer agreements and documentation for the Eastmore Phases 1B, 1C, and Pond 1.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second that
It's
motion.
been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 372 is with Leonard, Georgia, LLC. This is the dedication of public water and sewer agreement documentation for the Fairview Lake Subdivision Phase 1.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the
Been
motion.
properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 373 is with Leonard, Georgia, LLC. This is the dedication of public water and sewer agreement documentation for Miller's Point.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Okay, item 374 is rezoning case 2024-11, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 2000 Parker Road from C1 Local Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a second reading.
I move to approve the second reading and to adopt this ordinance as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 375 is future land use case 2024-04, an ordinance to amend the future land use map of Rockdale County, Georgia's comprehensive plan as amended for property located at 4105 Southwest East Fairview Road from the neighborhood commercial future land use category to the low density residential agriculture future land use category, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 376 is rezoning case 2024-13, An ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 4105 Southwest East Fairview Road from C1 Local Commercial to AR Agricultural Residential, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 377 is rezoning case 2024-12, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 2037 Southeast Old Salem Road from AR Agricultural Residential to R1 Single Family Residential, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission as presented.
I second the motion.
Been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 378 is rezoning case 2024-14, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 2332 Southwest Old Covington Highway from R1 Single Family Residential to M1 Limited Industrial, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 379 is a special use permit case 2024-03, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended, to authorize a special use permit for recreational vehicle RV park and campground at 3260 East Fairview Road, Southwest Conyers, Georgia 30094, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay,
Barely.
next item. Next item.
We're
please.
almost there.
Yeah,
Okay,
almost
we
there.
really are.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're almost there.
So, item 380 is a future land use case 2024-02, an ordinance to amend the future land use map of Rockdale County, Georgia's comprehensive plan as amended for property located at 1975 and 1985 Northwest Sigmund Road, 1980, 1736, 1670, 1726, and 1716 Northwest Lester Road, and 1634, 1632, and 1630 Northwest Farmer Road from the high-density residential future land use category to the technology park future land use category, to repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 381 is a rezoning case 2024-07, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended by rezoning 1975 and 1985 Northwest Sigmund Road, 1980, 1736, 1670, 1726, and 1716 Northwest Lester Road, and 1634, 1632, and 1630 Northwest Farmer Road from R1 Single Family Residential to O&I Office Institutional, to impose conditions upon the property, to repeal conflicting ordinances, and for other purposes. This is submitted for a first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 382 is a special use permit case 2024-02, an ordinance to amend the official zoning district map of Rockdale County, Georgia as amended, to authorize a special use permit for a data center at 1975 and 1985 Northwest Sigmund Road, 1980, 1736, 1670, 1726 and 1716 Northwest Lester Road, and 1634, 1632, and 1630 Northwest Farmer Road. To repeal conflicting ordinances and for other purposes, this is submitted for first reading.
I move to approve the first reading and refer this ordinance to the Planning Commission.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor?
Okay, so
Go
this is not the DC Blocks data center. This is another
Absolutely.
data
Actually,
center.
another data center technology park, another $1.2 billion investment for Rockdale County.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
All right, item 383 is a resolution for the approval of the Reimagine Rockdale 5-year strategic plan.
Yes, Lord.
I move to approve the resolution as presented.
And I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Yes. Outstanding.
That's a lot of, represents a whole lot of heart and soul and work.
Sure does.
Oh, and community collaboration.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
one of the most important things about the strategic plan is that we, especially Ms. Chester, spent a lot of time making sure that there was a lot of community engagement in different venues, and she was everywhere. She was at the concert, she was at the parks, she was at everything. So thank you so much once again for all your hard work.
And thank you to the citizens who
Absolutely.
provided the feedback so that she can collect and create the data that she did in order to compile this complete project. Absolutely. All right, next item, please.
Okay, the next item is item 384, and this is an appointment of the Director of Emergency Management Agency, and that would be Ms. Sharon Webb.
I move to approve this appointment as presented.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Congratulations, Chief Webb.
Chairman and Commissioners, good afternoon again, but I did want to take a moment. We do have one more service award to recognize, so I'm going to allow Chief Webb to make some comments, but I think we have a picture for her.
Yes.
25 years.
Oh, it's back there. Okay, we were looking at it. Yeah, there it is. So, in recognition, of course, she comes to us with 25 years of service, but all of that right here from Rockdale County. So she's... You're welcome. So I did want to go ahead and present her with a pen. We do have a gift for you as well as your certificate. So I wanted to say congratulations again on your appointment, as well as your 25 years of service, and I'm definitely going to let you make some comments.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Chief.
Thank you for the opportunity to serve as the director of EMA. My goal as a director is to foster a culture of preparedness, education, and services throughout the county to our citizens through emergency management, E911, and animal services. I want to bring our EMA, animal services, and 911 teams to the forefront and develop programs that will serve the citizens by providing more education for the entities in their area of expertise. My vision is to proactively prepare by building more partnerships, having more community engagement, and having innovative solutions that will serve the citizens, business owners, and visitors if the time of need comes when their safety for themselves, their family members, and their property comes into question. As for my new team, their dedication and work are what keeps the operations running. So with that, the people of the county can be served. I want each of them to be known for the role that they play. Today is definitely bittersweet.
You can do it.
I'm closing one door of 25 years with the fire service, which I've loved, and I'm opening a new door into the overall emergency management. I'm super excited about my appointment and position. I'm super excited about my new team members. I want to thank my family, my fire family, my co-workers, and of course the ones who have believed in me and pushed me. But most of all, I am grateful for this opportunity to serve this capacity and honored that I can continue to serve Rockdale County and the citizens. Thank you.
Okay. Let's give her family a round of applause. Yes. All right. Very good. Commissioners, I do want to say very briefly that we've made a lot of tough decisions as administration, as a board. That we had two superstar candidates internally, and it was very difficult to decide. And I heard rumors from both of y'all that neither one of y'all wanted to be in the position I was in to make the final decision.
I said that.
Chief Webb has, as she stated, and Executive Director Holmes pointed out, 25 years of service, all in the Rockdale County Fire and Rescue. And then I want to shift just a moment because Deputy Director Meredith Barnum, who has led in the role as a deputy director with EMA, and particularly most recently noted for her fine work with this tornado. Y'all give Meredith another round of applause. Absolutely. You know, watch me say this. Somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. So you have to make some choices. But guess what? The good news is life goes on. And when you have talented people working together as a team with a common goal to serve the citizens and do good, the winner is always Rockdale County. Y'all give them both a round of applause. I just wanted to point that out because it's nothing easy when you have so many talented people, and you know, certainly not making it up. We heard all of the service awards and then the achievement awards of all of the very talented people we have in county government. We're proud to have so many people who really invest in their careers and their education to make sure that the benefactor is Rockdale County and their families. So that's a big deal. All right, we're down to our last item, is that correct?
We have two more.
Two more items, two more.
All right, so item 385 is with Nadia Thornton to the Superior Court. This is for the part-time case manager for adult drug court program. The amount not to exceed of $40,000. And this is through September 30th, 2025 with option to renew 3 additional 12-month periods. And this is grant funded.
I move to approve this contract as presented.
I second the motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next item, please.
And so item 386 is with volunteer appointments for the Conyers Rockdale Planning Commission. Currently, we have 3 terms that are vacant right now. We have a 4-year term, a 3-year term, and an unexpired term. The recommendation is to have Phyllis Hatcher fill the term for the 4-year term, Miss Angela Ingram for the 3-year term, and we currently just have a vacancy for the unexpired term, so we could take these collectively or together, however the board chooses to do so.
Collective.
All right, so then I would suggest the motion be for the approval of the 2 appointments where we have the names available of those who are serving, and then a separate motion to put the vacant position under unfinished business, so defer for the next meeting.
I move to approve the appointment of Phyllis Hatcher for the term 7/1/2024 to 7/1/2028 for the Planning Commission, as well as Angela Ingram for the appointment of terms for the term 7/1/2024 through 7/1/2027.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor of those 2 appointments, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next one.
And then if we could get a separate motion for deferral of the vacant appointment.
I move to defer the vacant position until the next regularly scheduled BOC voting session.
I second that motion.
It's been properly motioned and second. Are there any additional comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Go ahead, Commissioner.
So I just wanted to point out, because Rosalind Ridgway's name is up there, that Rosalind actually asked to have her name removed from that.
Okay. All right, and I want to add that because we have this other vacant, unexpired term, we want to, I think what I really want to say, I think it's going to bring some clarity. Folks who are interested in these boards, serving in these boards in the county, sometimes we have difficulty finding some volunteers. We do want to make sure we get the right people in the right place. So if you're in the community and you are interested in serving on some of these boards, we strongly encourage you to contact the Office of Government Affairs and our county clerk, Executive Director Rutledge. Give her office a call and express your interest and how to seek the application so you can go through the application process. And then it will be reviewed and weighed by the commissioners going forward. But a lot of folks don't know the process. I want to make sure I point her number. I heard somebody say, what's the number? 770-278-7009. One more time for the pen that didn't write. 770-278-7009. So I want to make sure we point that out. Folks are interested in serving. All right.
Well, we are down to public comment.
Down to public comment. Do you have any comment cards?
I don't have any turned in.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I see Mr. Kalichek. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Chairman, I will read as he approaches.
Okay.
As a reminder, public comment is limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Comments relative to any issues that are going through the public hearing process, matters that in active litigation, political campaigning, or partisan politics will not be heard in this meeting. Speakers are to address the chairman, not each other or the audience, and are expected to conduct themselves in an appropriate manner. The use of abusive or profane language shall not be allowed. No debate or argument between speakers and/or members of the audience shall be permitted.
Okay, Mr. Kalichek, come on up, sir.
Good morning, Chairman, or afternoon, I'm sorry. Commissioners, citizens of Rockdale County. You can read on my back, I don't have my conservation hat with me at the moment, but I do serve as chairman for the Rockdale Soil Water Conservation District and now the Upper Okmulgee Basin Area Council, which includes 6 counties in the metropolitan area and in conjunction with the Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District and the Atlanta Regional Commission. I'd like to make everybody aware, this Friday at 8:30 a.m., the Rockdale Soil Water Conservation District is hosting Georgia Power representatives and engineers, along with representatives from the Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District, and we are going to have intense and in-depth presentations from both of those parties regarding data centers. Now, I have sent out invites to well over 100 folks, and we already have about 40 that will be there. So if you have that opportunity, 8:30 a.m. on Friday, 1127 West Avenue, right across from the elections office there. Secondly, the Rockdale Soil Water Conservation District on April the 20th hosted the inaugural Agribusiness Career Day Expo, talking about workforce development in Georgia. If you could view the Georgia Farm Monitor program on YouTube from May 4th, the first part of that session regarded what farmers are doing across the state regarding mental health. And the second portion is myself talking about the actual expo. So that went up to 159 counties across the state and is now going to be put on the Rural Farm TV network across the United States. So we had 419 students and parents come through, 39 different industry representatives, providing over 300 different careers in agribusiness, which is our largest industry. And we had 3 job offers during that expo. The plan is to go throughout the state with these over the next year and work with the state legislature regarding Senate Resolution 275, which was to increase the agribusiness workforce and job curriculum and curriculum throughout all schools in the state. Thank you very much.
Can I ask you where What did you say the name of that organization was so I can look up that YouTube video?
If you go to YouTube, Georgia Farm Monitor, that's your news station headquartered in Macon, which is your agribusiness news network. And it was also on Channel 23, but there's more in-depth information on the Farm Monitor on YouTube on the May 4th session.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kellercheck, and thank you for all that you do on behalf of the citizens of Rockdale County. All right, we're going right into board comment. Commissioner Washington, starting with you.
Okay, so in my continuous effort to help out our Animal Service Department, we have another segment of Rockin' Pets. This is July segment. And some of you all will see a familiar face. More familiar than mine.
Here in Rockdale County, we love our furry friends, but there are so many of them that need a home. So I'm showcasing Rockdale County Animal Services to raise awareness on all the wonderful pets to rescue. Hi, I'm Commissioner Sherry Washington, and this is Adopt a Rockin' Pet. Hello, Rockdale County. This is Commissioner Sherry Washington, and we're here with another segment of Adopt a Rockin' Pet. Who do we have with us today?
Today we have the fabulous 5, Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, and Tiger.
Oh, I get it. Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, catch a tiger by itself.
We did come from one of our local cruelty cases. We have been out there a number of times and visited their conditions. We are looking for new homes for them. They're all fun, they're all playful, not dog aggressive, not food aggressive, and they love to play, as you can see.
Yes, they've been having a good time. This is one of the best things about this shelter is that it does have a playroom for the pets that come in here, and these puppies have been having a good time today playing with the pets that are provided at the shelter. And you can see Tiger is being loved on. There are several puppies here in the shelter, but we wanted to highlight this group of 5 because they have been through a lot with their previous owners, and we want to get these pets adopted.
Thank you for watching Rockdale 23.
Wow.
So Kevin enjoyed himself. Like, we had to pull him out of there. So hopefully Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, and Tiger will get adopted. So and I'm looking forward to working with you all to continue this effort with Adopt a Rockin' Pet. The next thing is I would like to thank the USDA and Congressman David Scott for the $145,000 grant that he bestowed upon Rockdale County for our garden. If we're going to increase the demonstration garden's capacity to help fight food insecurities, but also we're going to have a meditation garden component that will have a yoga session so that we could do sound meditation, yoga, and there will be a medicinal garden so that we can talk about the medicinal purposes of herbs and things like that. So I'm very excited. We had the kickoff last week, and it was a great turnout. We're also going to be partnering with, of course, our master gardeners, which I don't think I've seen any other group more excited than these master gardeners that getting a grant, as well as Top Ladies of Distinctions, the New Rocks chapter, and our Top Teens program. So I'm super excited about that possibility and that program. I'd like to congratulate the ladies who are starting their cotillion journey with Ms. Mims' organization. Was it Showtime Productions? They had their kickoff on Sunday. What a great group of ladies, but one of the things that I enjoyed most was hearing from the graduates. This would be her 3rd session, and that these ladies articulated so well their experience, and that you could see that they were so eager for other ladies to have the same experience. So I'm very excited about that. And this year they're having the bows, which will help with the young men that will be going through this process. Congratulations to Dr. Phyllis Hatcher and Angela Ingram on your appointment to the Planning Commission. I know that they're going to do a good job. They are very focused on making sure that we have the right things in this county, the right type of development, the right type of progress. And so I'm looking forward to them working well also. And that's all I have written down. I know Dr. Williams is going to say something, and I'm going to come back to me.
All right, Commissioner Williams.
So, it's been a long day, but, excuse me, but there's been so much that's been talked about, and I'm glad that we did not hurry through the agenda so that we could take the time to look at all the different. I have several comments. One, I really enjoyed being able to attend the National Association of Counties annual meeting in Tampa, Florida a couple of weeks ago. I have served on the Health Steering Committee for 7 or 8 years, 9 years maybe now. That always has really good information, and one of the highlights that they focused on this year was the partnership between mental health and public health. And so I'm really looking forward to the opportunity, agriculture, and the fact that getting people involved in that can also enhance mental health stability. So, as I was thinking about all of this, I thought mental health goes through every single segment of our community, of our county, of every diversity that happens in our county. And so I'm looking forward to continued opportunities to promote programs and initiatives that will serve the citizens. I've talked previously about the dementia initiative. A lot of that, while we know that those that live with dementia can have mental health issues also, it's a strain on their caregivers, and their mental health is also really important. One of the things I was struck by at NACO was that they talked, there were several different topics mentioned about maternal mortality. And that also affects mental health. And it's interesting because something drew me to that. And I didn't know why until yesterday, when we nearly lost our daughter-in-law. And, it just brings it right back home that we are not the country that has the best mental health system, especially for maternal health. And anything I can do to help us improve that here in Rockdale County. I have sat with 2 different friends who their family members were having significant issues at birth, in giving birth. There's a lot that needs to be done in that area. And the more we can improve that and enhance those services, the better we'll all be. It will make a big difference. Those are my comments.
Don't forget to talk, you mentioned yesterday to me that you want to mention the emergency number for people experiencing a crisis.
Okay. So, the chairman receives, and he has gotten a lot of calls over the years for people having mental health issues, and he's always referred them to me. The first line of action should be to call 988 if you or anyone else is having a mental health crisis. That is the national number that went live two years ago now. But it's not well known. I had the CEO of Viewpoint Health come speak to a group of women at my church, and only 2 or 3, and one of those was Meg Joyner, who works for EMA, knew about that number, about 988. So, Director Mims, I want to get with you and let's see if we can't get that number publicized. That is like the 911 number, but it is for anyone having a mental health crisis. So for you or a family member or a friend, you can get information there. And it will connect in Georgia. It will connect you directly to the Georgia Crisis and Access line.
Okay, all right.
Thank you for
I think
that
it's on me.
reminder.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, just very quickly, I know that Director Redmond has returned and Ms. Bing is also here, so whichever of the two of you are going to talk about the summer concert series, and I'm particularly talking about it this time because of these afternoon, evening storms that we've been having, and what's your storm plan, I guess, is probably the best thing to say, because we want to get the band soaking wet.
Good afternoon, Chairman. Good afternoon, Madam Commissioners. Yes, Chairman. The Summer Concert Series, the second installment, is coming this Sunday, July 28th. We have the R&B Inc. band coming. They're a 9-piece band. Great variety. They play a lot of different music. So it'll be a treat. This is our first time having them here in Rockdale. So it'll be a treat to hear them. We have heard them, when I say we, the staff, the team members have heard them play at other places and during their audition tape. So it's going to be a treat. There is a $5 parking fee that we're charging per car, not per person, $5 per car, just to reiterate that. The time will be from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Costley Mill Park. And again, you can enter through both entrances, 2599 Salem Church Road or 2455 Costley Mill Road. That parking plan worked very well last month when we had the Summer Concert Series. Had no traffic congestions. Everyone were in and out. So to answer your question, any type of weather contingency plans, we will send ample notification if we get severe weather. We're not anticipating severe weather. We get messages regularly from EMA to update us prior to the concert coming and the day of, the morning of. We're always in touch with EMA to make sure that we're ahead of the game to let the community know what's going on.
Very good. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Director.
One more, Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Friday wind down. The second and final one for the season will be August the 2nd.
Okay.
Friday, August the 2nd at Costley Mill Park. And again, it is a $5 fee per car to park. The time is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Costley Mill Event Center. And it's one entrance for that, and that will be 2599 Salem Church Road.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Very good.
Come on up.
Yeah, you can't talk. You can't talk.
You can't talk from there. You got to come
on
to
up.
the
Come on up.
microphone.
Come on up, Ms. Bing.
I just want to make emphasis on the Friday wind down. I think a lot of people confuse with the summer concert series. The Friday wind down is more of an after work experience where you come and listen and vibe and just have a great time. It's not coming to see a performance. I know I like to read Facebook comments. So I want to be sure that everybody knows that the summer concert series is for a band performance, so you can catch the performance. But the Friday wind down is more of an after work, listen to music vibe.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for that clarity. Thank you, Ms. Bing. Absolutely. That's why she's in charge out there. She knows which is what and what's what. This has been a very robust meeting today, and I echo the sentiments of Dr. Williams. She's absolutely right. We've had to cover every item on the agenda. We're coming back from recess. I am super excited about what we were able to do to acknowledge the service awards of all of our employees and the achievements of all of our employees, and to announce our new EMA director, Chief Webb. We're so accustomed to saying Chief, but we'll be saying Director Webb. Absolutely. Y'all give her another round of applause. Absolutely. A big shout out to her husband and her daughter, who is here as well, supporting her. Nothing else to say. This has been a long meeting. Executive Director Rutledge, is there any pertinent information that this audience, folks viewing online, need to be aware of?
I think just one thing. So tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll have the second millage rate public hearing in this room, and that would be it right now.
All right, Chief Sanders, anything out of your office?
No, thank you.
Happy Tuesday. This meeting is adjourned.
She's ready to go.